return for the Bulldogs against Texas A&M a year ago. Lance lining it up. We're just about set in Vegas. Underway, and it will be Thomas getting the first touch, and he had a crease, but a good job by the Trojan special teams to keep him from hitting that crease and taking it a long way. Christian Pierce got him by the shoestring. LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier from a football family. His maternal grandfather's hometown in Lake Charles, where he feels the most at home, the tie to the state of Louisiana. He's waited his turn. He was terrific in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Nearly 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Getting the congratulations from Jaden Daniels. Going skyward. There is Jaden, here to see Nussmeier's first regular season start. Nussmeier will throw quickly, and that's Kyron Lacy. First play of first down for LSU.
So like we said, you're going to see him rely on that running game, that offensive line. I think you get an idea that BK and his offensive staff, they feel very confident in what number 13 can do for them. Has a big-time arm, kind of that gunslinger mentality, not afraid at all. In this atmosphere, in this first game, he will settle in quickly.
Well, 1st and 10 from the 38. That's on a little half roll. He'll fire again, and Lacy, I think he got a foot down again. So 2 plays, and they go to a guy who made big plays for them as the 3rd receiver a year ago.
Yeah, and this time a little play action to get him away from potential pressure. This is a great catch by Lacy. Remember, you lose 2 big-time receivers to the NFL, and Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. It's Kyron Lacy's turn now to be that guy.
They averaged nearly 19 yards a catch a year ago, and they go to the ground for the first time with the veteran Josh Williams wearing that hallowed number 18 for LSU.
You know, Nussmeier has been around the game his whole life. His dad obviously played in the NFL, has been coaching forever, college and in the NFL, currently with the Philadelphia Eagles as their quarterback coach. So a coach's son, a guy that's kind of been around it in his blood. Not surprised at all. A lot of us been waiting for him to get his chance. Remember that SEC championship game against Georgia, what he did in that second half? So he is a big-time playmaker.
On 2nd down, and there's a completion to the transfer from Liberty, C.J. Daniels, who Brian Kelly described as a guy who just eats up catches. Had a great year for the Flames a year ago, and they'll be relying on him. He has his first catch as an LSU player, and it brings up 3rd and 3.
Talking a lot about Brian Kelly and LSU. Obviously, they have the ball, but if you're a USC fan, the big question is Danton Lynn, who came over from UCLA as a new defensive coordinator, trying to create a new culture, a new attitude, new physicality, new confidence. See how they do here in this opening drive.
Caleb Jackson in at running back for LSU. And the gives to Jackson, and the Trojans are there to stop him. Maybe picked up half a yard. Mason Cobb made the tackle.
Well, right on cue. We just talked about this team and how are they going to do about, situations like this, 3rd down. This is a defense that really struggled a year ago, and this is one of their leaders. Mason Cobb led this SC defense in tackles. Big he and the inside there really does a good job. That time they got him off of the edge on that 3rd down.
So a little out of field goal range, too close to punt, an offensive-minded coach. You know they're going for it on 4th and long 2. Nussmeier fires out to the flat. There's Lacy, and he's going to have enough for the first down. 3rd catch of this drive for Kyron Lacy.
Well, they gave him a soft coverage there. Surprised to see that much space there on 4th and short. I think Nussmeier saw it like we all did there pre-snap and said, if you're going to give me that cushion on 4th and short, that's an easy pitch and catch. So good recognition there by Nussmeier, and he takes the easy throw for that first down to keep this drive alive.
Nussmeier back to work. He throws to the outside, and he's got another completion, and guess who? Lacy again.
And again, SC is respecting the potential and the speed of the playmaking ability of these receivers, and they're sitting back. And soft coverage. Look at Nussmeier. Watch his head. He's bringing to the left, to the right, knows already where he wants to go with the ball. He sees that soft corner, goes back into the boundary. And how about the length by Lacy with those arms? Really soft hands to make that catch. Give him a very easy, manageable here 2nd down call.
Already 4 catches for 41 yards on this drive, and now flags will fly as LSU the false start.
Yeah, the center gets mixed up there. Remember, the only rookie at all.
Snap infraction. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Kevin Marr leading our Big 12 crew tonight.
What a different looking offense from Jaden Daniels. We all knew that it was going to be different. You have a new offensive coordinator calling plays, Joe Sloan, who was on this staff, and you lose that playmaking ability. You got to do things a little bit differently. Nussmeier 5 of 5 on this opening drive. Corner blitz off to his left. Let's see how he handles that. That good hard count showed this blitz. See if the SC comes out of it.
Bear Alexander into the game for SC. They protect him, and they get it out to the tight end, Mason Taylor. Taylor all the way down to the 20-yard line, and he's got another first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, that recognition of feeling that corner blitz allowed him to adjust the protection. Instead of getting out of the play, what he did is he takes the All-American tackle. Instead of blocking right there, he's going to slide to the outside. That corner is picked up nicely, gives him time, goes the opposite direction to big Mason Taylor, who's now in his 3rd year, makes a great play. Great, again, recognition of the pre-snap, allowing Nussmeier to play on time.
Now 1st and 10, just outside the 20. Back to the ground, and running with the ball is Jackson, and Caleb Jackson showing up. I checked that, 18, not 28. It's Josh Williams. Either way, he's showing the power, and he gets it down inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal.
Watch the right tackles block Emory Jones. We talked about him being potentially a 1st rounder. Good job on Mason Cobb, and good low center of gravity from Josh Williams, who's in his 6th year. Another guy that's kind of paid his dues and becomes the leader in this team, just being on the field with him. One of these typical backs, not real tall, really strong, especially through the thighs in the midsection area. Big, powerful guy, tough to bring down.
Offensive line has kept the Trojans from creating too much havoc, but that time USC gets into the backfield, and Eric Gentry makes the play.
So without the threat of Jaden Daniels, this is what LSU is going to feel when they show this look. They're just collapsing down. Now, Nussmeier's athletic enough to be able to pull that, but if Jaden Daniels is in the game, you know, last year, he's pulling out, he's around the corner, he's in the end zone laughing. Now they don't feel that threat. So not just USC, but everybody no longer worried about number 5 there in the yellow shirt.
One of the things Joe Sloan told us, they're going to have to replace 1,100 yards rushing, probably about a dozen more carries for the back. A pass from Nussmeier to Lacey in the end zone. Did he get it down? He did not. He is ruled out of bounds. Kyron thought he had his first touchdown of the season. Jacoby Covington on the cover.
Yeah, the right foot comes down out of bounds. Look at the location, by the way, of this football. Outside, over that outside shoulder, gives him a chance, but the right foot is about 6 inches to the outside, covered there by Covington. So close. Perfectly placed football there by Nussmeier. Boy, he is feeling it here early.
And for USC, they are showing some resistance, and what a confidence boost it could be if they could force a field goal try. 3rd and goal for Nussmeier. He'll throw the slant. He's got it complete, but his receiver will be stopped short. It's Kyle Parker, and it'll be 4th down.
They went for it earlier, and they had soft coverage, and they hit it, took an easy 1st down. They have been driving this football now 12 plays. Coming up in their 13th play. I'm with you. This is a great opportunity for LSU to get the season started in this game the right way, and it may be a bigger opportunity for SC to try to come up with a stop.
So do you like the call here from the 3 to go ahead and try to punch it in?
I like the aggressive approach here. Opening weekend of college football. You went for it earlier. Your quarterback looks great. Show some confidence in your guys, and you go for it here. And sprinting down the sideline to call timeout. BK getting in his cardio.
Timeout. LSU. Their first of the half.
Chewing up clock. A little bit of everything with Joe Sloan in this offense. They put together a heck of a plan tonight, and it's going to come down here on this last. You would think that, yeah, well, it has to be the last play of this drive.
Yeah, barring some type of automatic 1st down penalty or some such thing. The moment that the SC defense has been waiting for, and really for Nussmeier too, as they get ready to try to see what they dial up on 4th down.
I'd love to see a quarterback that hadn't played a lot when they call a timeout like that, you see how he's engaged? You see he's not just sitting there saying, yes, sir, yes, sir. Like, he's giving his feedback. He's the guy out there. And the coaches really love to hear what he's seeing and what he thinks. You know, he's as involved as these coaches are, if not more. So his feedback is pivotal for those coaches on knowing what to call.
They've eaten up almost half of the first quarter. Nussmeier's hit 7 of his 8 attempts. The other one was caught out of bounds. And now, can LSU pay it off with a touchdown? Pressure coming. They're on Nussmeier. He gets away, and he has to throw it away, and the Trojans get a stop. Welcome to USC, Danton Lynn.
No doubt about it. This is what USC wanted. Aggressive approach. I love the aggressive approach by
In Las Vegas, just the way Herbie likes it. Inside Allegiant Stadium at 72, though USC defensive coordinator Danton Lynn just heated up LSU with a blitz on 4th and goal and stopped them, so the Trojans take over, and Miller Moss completes his first pass. A little extracurricular activity against Zachariah Branch. A little knock to the noggin from Jordan Allen there.
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about that later, but you know, that's a rule, and it happens, you throw a flag.
Yeah.
We had it last night with Bo Collins, no flag. We have it here. After the fact, motions are flying, but it's a rule. It's in place. Love to see it enforced once in a while from the officials.
Miller Moss, who was the Holiday Bowl MVP, 6 touchdown passes, has now completed his first 2 passes of the game. This one going to Lake McCree, who's coming off a knee injury from the end of last year.
Yeah, they've got, I think, a lot of playmakers. It's hard early to try to find who those 2 guys are. Woody Marks coming over from Mississippi State will be a guy to keep out for. Jacoby Lane on the outside. Love his length and playmaking ability. On the outside, Braden Swinson really gets after the quarterback. And, of course, Harold Perkins now wearing number 7. Keep a good eye on him.
Because Perkins is in 7. Swinson's wearing Perkins' old number 4 and USC's number 4, Woody Marks. Over from Mississippi State, gets it up to the 26-yard line. Nifty run from Woody.
Yeah, I think that Woody Marks plays a big role in what they're going to try to do this year. Again, we just talked about Jaden Daniels and what he did for LSU. Obviously, the same with Caleb Williams and that big play ability, the ability to create. You're not going to have that now with Miller Moss. Woody Marks steps in, and it's a completely new wave of skill players for SC, losing a bunch of receivers and backs. And Marks is a guy you're going to hear his name called quite a bit this year.
It's called one more time. Woody will push it up to about the 28 and a half. The guys up front, there's some veterans. We talked about the veteran LSU offensive line, but USC anchored in the middle by Jonah Monheim.
Yeah, but a lot of these guys, they have great potential, but like a lot of teams in college football in the transfer portal, you're moving some guys around, and just some guys that are getting a new opportunity for the first time to become starters. They had a role where they'd step in with an injury, but now they're stepping in to be the guys. So creating a continuity big for this offensive line.
3rd down and 2. Pressure coming, and Perkins got back there and hit Moss, and the Bayou Bengals swarm. And just as Danton Lynn got a big stop to get off the field, new LSU defensive coordinator Blake Baker dials one up.
He sure does. And if I'm Blake Baker, I'm dialing this up as often as I can with number 7. What I love here on this zone read is he takes both guys. That's a tough read for the quarterback. Eventually, pretty good presence of mind there to just flip it, try to give the back a chance. He wanted to pull that and get around that pressure, but a heck of a play by Harold Perkins there off the edge.
So the Trojans will have to punt. Eddie Chapliski to boot it away. It's Xavier Thomas. We talked about him on the kickoff return. He backpedals close to his 15. Now he'll try to find a corner. Thomas slips a couple of tackles. Now going back the other way. Does he have enough speed to turn the corner? He does not. Excellent discipline on the punt coverage team by USC as Mason Cobb.
Games, you don't have a full house, but when you bring LSU into a game, you're going to get, it's probably, what do you think, 65, 70%, maybe more of LSU?
Yeah, the Trojans have shown up today.
Yeah.
Easier trip.
LSU won the weekend.
Yeah, they did. They were here early. There were people coming in midweek from what I understand. So after that 57-yard punt and 45-yard sideways return, 1 yard forward, LSU takes over its second possession. They'll keep it on the ground, push it out across the 20-yard line. Danton Lynn led his team to a good stop in the red zone a moment ago.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about their defense, and if you're a USC fan, you know, you look at the goal to go, and especially in the red zone, they're 130th in the country. Different mentality with Danton Lynn coming over from UCLA. More of an aggressive approach. We saw that blitz from Mason Cobb. Core values, all about effort, obnoxious communication, and attacking. See what kind of adjustments he makes. LSU put together a heck of a drive, but they did come up with a stop by SC's defense to end it.
Had 13 plays on that last drive. Got stopped on 4th down from 3. Nussmeier dumps it underneath to his back. Caleb Jackson will pick up another LSU first down to get across the 30. Easton Mascarenas Arnold, transfer from Oregon State, has been a great leader in the early going for this Trojan defense. Makes the stop.
See, that's not a ho-hum play for me. That's a great job with 7 guys dropping deep. Looks downfield, checks it down. Easy completion and first down.
Jackson, who's made the catch, was going forward, and then he was greeted rudely in there as Kamari Ramsey, UCLA transfer, makes the stop. So
instead of Jaden Daniels scrambling for 15, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get back to reality. You know, like a quarterback normally can't do what Jaden Daniels can do. He's a once-in-a-generation guy when it comes to creativity. So when you don't have that, what do? You look downfield, you look for the open guy, not there. It's cleared out, check it down. Let the running back do all that work that Jaden did last year.
Empty backfield now, and Thomas, the return man, is in the backfield and has given it on the motion in reverse, and not a reverse play, but he reversed his motion, took it inside, and gets it up to about the 36, maybe the 37.
I love that orbit motion. Gets the eyes of the defense, kind of anticipating the ball going to the field, to the defense's right. All they have to do is take a step, 1 or 2 steps that way, and it gives that offensive line the blocking angles they need to allow him to try to get north and south there.
Now 3rd down and 3. Nussmeier to Aaron Anderson. He tries to make a guy miss, and he does, and Aaron gets it up to about the 44-yard line. LSU first down.
Yeah, an Alabama transfer, 5'8", about 190 pounds. He's the epitome of just trying to get the ball out in space. He went in motion, kind of drawing the attention of the USC defense, but Humphrey that time a little bit slow and trailing him in motion. So, again, another simple and nice read there by Nussmeier, not trying to do too much, knowing the down and distance and picking up the first down.
A lot of pass rushers on the field right now for USC as they bring in the rush package. You see if LSU counters by going on the ground. There's Williams breaking a couple of tackles and the swarming Trojan defense, and that has to be a sight for sore eyes. I know we're mentioning it a lot, but this has been something that has really bucked USC the last couple of years in terms of aggression on defense. They stopped him for a gain of 2.
Yeah, just the physicality. You know, this is a defense over the last couple of years. The defensive line was slanting and angling. That was a feast or famine approach. Now it's more physical with the defensive line, allowing the backers to get downhill.
Still to the ground and not much room. Really good job just to pick up a couple there. In that particular case, the Trojans won the battle at the line of scrimmage.
I think the size, it's such an emphasis in recruiting and the transfer portal, in the weight room. We've heard all about 1,400 pounds bigger and all this, but you just look at it when you're down there on the field, and obviously there's a big difference. They've gotten stronger. They're able to hold the point of attack. Nate Clifton, who came over from Vandy, kid out of Brentwood Academy in Nashville, big physical, nice presence in the inside early in this game, 99.
So a 3rd and 6 to try to keep this drive going. Nussmeier, Anderson has another catch, but he is going nowhere. What a tackle in the open field by Kamari Ramsey.
Well, we saw that in the previous 3rd down when they got the ball out in space to him. Here he is right here. The defender is way back here, but watch him work his way through traffic and be able to navigate. Then as soon as the ball is caught, he's right there and able to make that tackle.
Ramsey forcing a 4th down on the final play of the first quarter. Dr. Pepper Championship Drive, game of the week. Starting the 2nd quarter here, LSU lined up to punt it away on a 4th and 5. Blake Oschendorf, a transfer from Louisiana Tech, and back deep, All-American return man a year ago, Zachariah Branch. See if he is willing to kick it Zachariah's way. He signals for the fair catch, and he'll make it right about the 12 or 13-yard line, and that is where Miller Moss will go back to work for the Trojans, the team he grew up dreaming of playing for. From Los Angeles, mom was a former professor at SC, once dressed up as Alexander the Great for a school project. Certainly conquered the world of being a high school quarterback, and once he got his opportunity to start the bowl game, 6 touchdown passes in a 42-28 win over Louisville. He won the job here in the preseason, and Lincoln Riley has a lot of confidence in this veteran quarterback who's waited for this moment.
I think Lincoln Riley telling us on a production call this week that he processes things like a coach. I mean, that says it all. Very accurate, knows where to go with the football.
Moss to throw. He has a man down the middle, finds his tight end, and Lake McCree makes his second catch.
We just said the location, how accurate he is. Watch where he puts his football on the back shoulder of his tight end right here, running a seam route. Kind of waits, hesitates, gets those linebackers with their eyes in the backfield, and that ball is thrown at his back shoulder to give him a chance to come back to it. Nice throw.
Picked up 17 on that one, a 1st and 10 from the 30. Back to the ground, and LSU wins that one, getting a tackle for loss, which is a goal for Blake Baker's defense.
Yeah, Blake Baker taking over a defense. They just kind of lost their way last year. Matt House is a great coach. It just didn't work out for whatever reason. You know, they were near the bottom of it in the country in most stats, and Blake Baker works part-time psychologist just to try to get this team to believe in themselves that they can be good again. He had a great year last year at Missouri. We know what he's all about. He's aggressive, creating havoc. I think his defense has really responded to him very well. We'll see how they do tonight.
SC setting it up, and there is Branch. Branch is electric. He's across the 45 and dances out of bounds just short of midfield.
Speaking of Lincoln Riley type of offense, watch the action from Miller Moss. You move in the receiver there who you're going to end up throwing the football to. The action goes to the right, then throw it all the way back. That defense, I think, got caught up in that play action, assuming that ball would come out the other way, and they're able to get to the back door with that convoy, get big yards.
Picked up 19 on that one. Moss has hit all 5 of his passes, and they're just short of getting it into LSU territory in the early moments of the second quarter. Moss getting to the edge, getting heat, and he has to throw it away before he gets knocked down. Applying the pressure is Paris Shand, one of the pass rushers that Baker is really high on.
Yeah, they brought the blitz from the left. That means Shand's got to be able to get that pressure on that right side of the offense. And boy, he is a big athletic defensive end. It comes over from Arizona. They've got good depth on the edge. Swenson, number 4, is probably the most dominant pass rusher, but they're going to rotate a lot of guys tonight to try to stay fresh to be able to win that edge pressure battle.
Shand jumps up, points out an infraction by the USC offensive line.
And Noah, the right guard, Miller might be saying, hey, when they yelled move, they're clapping, trying to draw my offensive lineman off. So he wants a delay of game called on the defense.
Delay a game, defense using disconcerting signals. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Big point of emphasis this year.
Yep, that's right. And so they're yelling move. So when they yell move, they're intentionally trying to either throw a clap in with that. Watch the linebacker, he'll yell move. And when he does that, you know, somebody on that defensive line could be doing something to try to pull that offensive line off. The umpire felt that and made the call against the defense.
So Moss goes to work, and he dumps it out to Quentin Joyner. Joyner gets down close to the 1st down. I think see exactly where they spot it, but he's at about the 40. They're going to mark him at the 43-yard line of LSU. That'll be a yard short. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, what he marks for when he is in there for Mississippi State, more physical, tough back. They feel that Joyner, as this year goes on, is that electric. Get him in space, and he can take it with the kind of speed that you'd love to see out of an SC back.
LSU fans starting to make some noise, trying to, and the defense rise up to the ground. Easily picks up the 1st down as Joyner found a crease.
Good job by the left side of that offensive line against that blitz that time. Wes Weeks shoots through. He's going to come right through here. You see this tackle is able to come down and pick that up. You're just trying to get short yardage. Blake Baker getting aggressive. Pretty good recognition by Elijah Page there. They feel he could be elite. First-year starter on that left side.
Did you see the photos of him walking into practice during camp? He is a gargantuan human being.
Listed at 6'7", 320.
Much bigger than that. He made a big block there. Moss buys a little time. Puts it into traffic. Did he pull that down? Kyron Hudson. Oh, my goodness, what a catch.
What a play. That's just a one-hand. Let me throw my hand up and give it a shot. That's between two defenders. Then if he loses the ball, I'm sure they're going to take a look at that to see if he held on to it. I say just for the effort, we give it to him.
Hey, man.
On the field was a catch for a first down.
One hand, ball comes out, two hands. I'm pulling for him. Hold on to that ball.
That's play stands in a 24-yard gain from Kyron Hudson, kid out of Mater Dei.
Watch the left arm, forearm. I think it prevents the ball from hitting the ground. The right hand had firm control, so great call. Maybe it's going to be up for end of the year, probably catch of the year.
That was sensational, and it sets the Trojans up in the red zone. Miller Moss back to work, firing for the corner of the end zone, and there's going to be a flag and pass interference as Moss tried to get it to Jacoby Lane, and Sage Ryan was a little tangled up with the Trojan receiver.
I think Lane has a chance to obviously be a go-to. They have so many targets, but I think Lane could emerge, especially down in this area for those fades, because he's 6'4". He can run away from defenders. That time, Ryan, he really didn't have much of a chance. Just almost
Pass
tackled him.
interference. Defense number 3. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Now listen, that's one of the toughest things to do in football, to be out there on an island against a big, tall receiver like that. But he didn't get his head turned around ever and got physical, so an easy call there for the official. And SC deep now in LSU territory.
Well, it was on this end of the field, right here, where we saw USC rise up with a goal line stand and keep LSU out of the end zone. And now the Tigers have a chance to follow suit, but SC will have 4 opportunities. 2 tight end set coming in as Miller Moss has hit 7 of his first 8 passes, forced a pass interference call with the fade ball to Lane, and now the Trojans trying to strike first and take the lead here in Las Vegas. Woody Marks in the backfield. They'll get it to Marks, and he's into the end zone for the first touchdown of the season for USC.
Job here up front. Pregnon, the left guard, does a good job of staying on his block and sustaining this block. Very important here. Double team, then he takes over that. Starts as a double team. Watch him stay on that block, and the back gets right behind him. That's the look at our AT&T clicker right there. Really good look.
Pregnon said to be the strongest man on the Trojan squad, made LSU a believer on that play as Michael Lance now State paid it off, and now Michael Lance will kick it away for the Trojans as LSU will try to answer, and the ball goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go back to the 2nd and 10 where we had a delay of game called on LSU. This movement right here. Bill, if you could come in and help us, because Brian Kelly is furious. This would have made it 2nd and 15. What's the emphasis this year in the sport?
It's brand new this year with the emphasis saying that if you're within a yard of the line of scrimmage, whether you're stationary or not, you cannot make a quick, abrupt, or exaggerated action that's part of a normal defensive player movement. And that is what pulled the offensive player off. So with the new rule and interpretation this year, that wouldn't have been a foul last year. It is this year.
Because usually it's that linebacker clapping or a defensive lineman yelling, right? That's usually the old school way of getting that call. That's why Brian Kelly is furious.
Well, this will be a more conventional.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
As a more conventional delay of game, but BK will be no more pleased about that one either. Bill, I have one question about this, Bill Amanye, about the abrupt movement. Is That's a judgment call then for the officials about what constitutes abrupt as opposed to just a regular
I
shift.
agree with you on that. That will be a judgment call. But I totally agree with the call that was made on the field. That was intended to pull the offense, and it did.
After the delay of game, Nussmeier goes to work. He picks up what they lost on the penalty and a couple of more as we check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, you guys are talking about how this defense for USC looks better, plays better. They're literally throwing their weight around out there. That's because this team as a whole has gained 1,400 pounds under the direction of Director of Sports Nutrition, Rachel Suba. And look at the difference in these photos. Benny Wiley, their performance coach, also bulking guys up. And it has made an impact on the field. Guys are stronger, they're faster, and they are feeling a lot more confident. We saw it in that goal line stand for LSU against LSU.
Now that 1,400 pounds shouldn't be confused with the weight Lincoln Riley feels to get this thing going at USC after a disappointing year last year. And 2 times in a row, Nussmeier has gone to Mason Taylor.
Well, I love this call. And a good job of improvising here. Here is Taylor. He's going to come in motion, but watch how Nussmeier, who's off to a really good start in this game, tight end kind of follows that motion. He kind of changes that arm angle because of the pressure from Muhammad and just kind of gets it out into the flat there.
Kirk had to pick up a few inches for the first down, and Williams will get him more than that. He's out close to the 45, and LSU will move the chains.
I know we don't have a lot of points in this game, but we came in talking about, okay, how's LSU going to do without Jaden Daniels? How's USC going to do without Caleb Williams? And these quarterbacks so far have really played well. Moss 7 of 8, Nussmeier 12 of 14, but more importantly, just in command, in control of their plan and their execution.
Nussmeier executing. Oh, and Mason Taylor had it in his hands for a big gain, although it might have been deflected. But boy, I think Mason will tell you that's one he had a chance to hold on to.
I think it was deflected. He gets right into the seam. Let's watch the linebacker. It looked like Gentry, who's got such good length. He feels that, gets up, and he does get a hand on that. Mason Taylor very sure-handed, and just that fingertip getting on that by Gentry, who's 6'6". They move him all over the field as a linebacker, sometimes as a nickel. That time he needed every inch of that 6'6" to get that football.
You know, and to Holly's point, Eric is one of the guys who's gained some weight. We've seen him play linebacker at barely 200 pounds. As quick completion, and Xavier Thomas has been noted as a return specialist, but they wanted to get him out in space, a pickup of 11. We might want to mention here too, Kirk, LSU is missing a guy that they thought would be and will be this year a downfield threat. Chris Hilton, not able to play tonight.
Yep, good job of getting that ball outside. How about the block by Pipton there, and also C.J. Daniels, and that is a big loss, Hilton, because of his speed.
Street closed tonight. They expect to get him back later in the season. Nussmeier back to work. Another completion. This one to C.J. Daniels. It's a first down for LSU.
There's that soft cushion again. There's take a quick look there at Hilton, who is out. And Reese said he'll be back. With the loss of Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors, they need all hands on deck to try to fill that production. But again, Nussmeier just in rhythm. And SC, when they get soft with their coverage, pretty easy answer for Joe Sloan as a play caller and his quarterback. Let's not overcomplicate this. If they're soft, let's throw it underneath them and take those yards.
John Emery Jr. is in the backfield for LSU. Highly touted running back, star-crossed career, and John has it. Didn't know if he was coming back this year or not. He's in there and he has the carries. We check in with Holly.
Guys, you talked about Chris Hilton being out at wide receiver for LSU, but Kyle Parker actually started the game, number 12. He hurt his left elbow on the previous drive. He's been in the locker room. They brought him back out, but I've not seen him return to this game. So they're down 2 guys that were projected starters.
Holly, we'll keep an eye on that for sure. They've made the most of the guys that have been out there. Nussmeier spread the ball around. Nussmeier gets rid of it. This time Taylor sure-handed. He's got it for the first down, and Mason inside the 20-yard line, and LSU trying to answer Kamari Ramsey on the stop.
Has he thrown a ball yet that hasn't hit a receiver in the helmet? I mean, it's incredible. Roll left, roll right, drop straight back, quick game, boom, ball is right on the money. And this time you give Mason Taylor a ball like that and a chance to run after the catch and another first down.
He's 15 out of 18, 129 yards in a quarter and a half. Lacey in motion. Nussmeier looking that way. Now on the wheel, throws it up. Lacey caught it. Did he get down this time? He did. Touchdown LSU.
in this game, in any game, it's about creating matchups, and this is what they're able to do right here with their best receiver going in motion. Watch the reaction from SC's defense. You want to get a safety on your best receiver, and that's what they do with that motion. You get the safety down, look who has to try to cover that best receiver. Ball's there, he's in position, just doesn't make the play, doesn't finish on the play. He was in position, but the ball gets away from him. Ball almost cut away from Lacey, but he does get a hold of it and gets a foot down for that touchdown.
Remember the opening drive? Lacey was out of the catch.
Conduct. Offense number 2. That's his first unsportsmanlike foul of the game. The foul will be enforced on the kickoff.
So Lacey got hit with the unsportsmanlike conduct after the touchdown catch. And I was saying on the other end of the field, he was out of bounds by just inches on the first drive, almost had a touchdown catch. That time he gets it down. Not sure Brian agrees with the call. It will be enforced on the kickoff. LSU will try to tie it with the extra point. Damian Ramos is on. And we are all is backed up to its own 20-yard line where they'll be kicking off. Aaron Burrell, who was just cleared for work a day or two ago, tried to put a big boot to it, and you have a guy like Zachariah Branch, you really don't want to give him the extra room to work with. Here is Branch, looking for room. Branch has a seam. Goodbye. Oh, I thought he had him. He couldn't. What a play by the kickoff man to get him. He was a half step away, or maybe one little move from getting away and housing that.
You know, the big news in the offseason in the NFL, their new rules with the kickoff. It's fun to watch the old school kickoffs here in the college game. And that penalty by Lacey gave Branch a chance to have more space. Pat McAfee, if he's watching, very proud of that kicker's effort. Athletic play, as always, by a kicker. But honestly, the mental mistake by Lacey forces the kickoff unit from LSU back, and it gives Branch a chance. One of the most dangerous return men in college football. And if it weren't for the athletic kicker making that play, he takes that all the way back for a touchdown.
46-yard return. We do have a player down on the field. While we check on his condition, we'll take a break here in Las Vegas. USC has it after the big kickoff return from Branch.
World Las Vegas, and book now at rwlasvegas.com.
Big kickoff return from Branch. Moss tries to pay it off immediately, and he does. He's got Deuce Robinson for the big gain.
They get it safety in the middle of the field. They get one-on-one matchup in the slot with great size with Robinson, another big, tall, rangy receiver. It's 6'6", and Gilbert, who transferred over from Texas A&M, he actually loses his footing, made it easy for Robinson to go right by him. But how about the throw? Again, another great throw by one of the quarterbacks. This time it's Miller Moss.
38 yards on the pickup, and now we've had a bevy of big plays. Moss flips it out, and that was probably the first really inaccurate pass he threw to Jay Fair. Now flags all over the place on the near side of the field.
Yeah, he knew he had a touchdown. I think he just hurried that. He got a block here on the outside by Lane. Probably be a illegal pick or blocking downfield. He's got to at least show that he's running a route instead of taking a guy out.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block. Offense number 8, 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
He didn't even make an effort. This is a D cleater. I mean, right in front of us here. Like, make it look like you're going out for a route. Instead, not only you hit him, you follow through. An easy call for the official, and they go for really good field position, a chance to punch it in. Now they go all the way back to the 20-yard line.
The first USC penalty of the game, Kirk, is a costly one, backing them up. So it's now first and goal from the 20-yard line, and we have whistles again.
The previous play is under further review for targeting.
Oh.
Well, that could exacerbate the problem for sure. Or Jacoby Lane if he is. So as we look back at this, as you're using the clicker to have a look, and Jacoby Lane waits to see if they're going to call this targeting. You have to, these blindside blocks, we talked about the emphasis on the delay of game, but now you have emphasis from a couple of years ago on these types of blocks.
Yeah, and I didn't see it, but I guess it's worth a review. You can see right there at the top right, that collision. It's hard to see with this look, but it looks like he goes through his chest.
Yeah, forcible contact, head and neck area. Right, Bill? Did you see any indicators? Bill Lamagna, rules experts, with us?
When he's defenseless, both 913 and 914 will apply. So whether you use the crown of the helmet or if you do a launch or any upward thrust and you go to the head neck area, you could have targeting. It appears to me, at least from the views I've had, and I'm hoping to get another one here, it doesn't appear to me that he gets the head neck area. I see his head go back, but I see it in movement with the whole upper body.
Yeah, he's right here. And again, he's supposed to just kind of run, put his arms up, make it look like he's running a slant, and instead, it's probably the best look that you're going to get there. Well, here's another one for you, Bill.
I don't think that's
I say
targeting.
no on targeting.
I don't think that's targeting.
Okay. Definitely blindside block. Definitely suspect and worth a review. But I don't have targeting.
Our replay official tonight is D. Anderson. We'll see if he agrees with that consideration of whether this will be targeting or not. Here's the call.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting.
Good call.
First
There you
down, SC.
I've never seen as polite of a colleague in my life as Reese Davis, who Ben has decided to just take over. I mean, he's just talk about a guy. I mean, it's a big game here, kid.
You just woke him up. You heard
that's
his
my
name.
fault. He heard his name. You can go back to sleep. But Reese is calling a game like Reese is calling a game just to be respectful of Ben.
Ben needs
You're a good man.
Ben needs his sleep. Came from College Station and playing with Reveille yesterday. Now, making sure Ben's not disturbed. First and goal now from the 20 after the blindside block penalty against Lane. He's pleased to be staying in the game, I'm sure. LSU showing a little heat. Miller Moss in trouble, and Miller Moss not free. The ball's on the ground. I think Emmanuel Pregnon might have gotten on it. It was Savion Jones who came in there and knocked it away from the USC quarterback.
Now they bring a blitz out here, which actually frees up. They feel very confident that they can win on the edge. It's pretty easy to win on the edge when you bring that blitz and put that right tackle in an either-or situation. Mason Murphy decides that he's got to pick up that blitzer, Major Burns, and it freed it up for the big man there.
So now the penalty and the sack. They backed all the way up to the 24. Here's Moss. This time a screen. Flips it out. There's Branch. You have the kickoff return. Zachariah Branch gets down to the 4-yard line. Man, is he fun to watch.
It's a heck of a job by Moss just to get this football off. I thought Savion Jones again was going to have a chance to be able to knock it down right there. But then downfield, look at the blocks. The center getting downfield makes a really nice block. Now they're back where they really started here on first and goal.
It is third and goal now. They try to pay off that great kickoff return from Branch, and then a scintillating play on the screen. Moss firing to the end zone, going the other way. Oh, and he had it for a second. And Kyron Hudson, who made that great catch earlier, couldn't keep control as he went out of bounds.
Miller Moss gets leveled. I mean, leveled by Major Burns. They keep bringing that blitz off the right edge. Here they come again. And as soon as he delivers the football, it's a clean hit. But watch, I think Hudson gets away with a little push off at the top of that route himself. Uses the hands, does everything to be able to get open. And then I think because the defender, Stamps, didn't give up on the play, I think that last-ditch effort, he may have knocked that ball away from him.
It sure looked like that. It was a really good play by Stamps. A 22-yard field goal attempt is true for Lance. And now USC gets the field goal, and they go back on top by a count of 10-7. So all things considered, LSU came out of that pretty well.
Yeah, I think you and I were thinking, did he, once he went to the ground, stamps the corner, he didn't see the football, but I love that he doesn't give up on it, and he did. That left hand did get on that to knock that away. That's why you do a million one-on-one drills in practice against your own receivers. Because you're going to be out there on an island, and it's sink or swim. And it started off not so great, but because he didn't give up on it, the progressive pylon cam shows you that he's able to knock that football away. Great job there.
So Ashton Stamps saving a touchdown there, and we've had some wild plays in a game that started off methodically, clock-chewing drives on both sides, a goal line stand, and now all of a sudden you're starting to see the explosive capabilities of both teams. So let's see, after the 22-yard field goal from Lance, he will kick it away. Xavier Thomas will watch it fly into the end zone for a touchback, and now Garrett Nussmeier, who's been sensational, goes back to work.
Yeah, he has been absolutely what you would hope to see. Ball is out quick, tough to get pressure on him. Really good decisions, nothing downfield, 7 in coverage. Okay, you're going to leave my back one-on-one with some space. I'll check it down, do the right thing. And then the accuracy. We've seen some amazing throws where he's put it where only his guy can make a play. What we did see there is one of the best catches of the entire night, maybe of this season, when all things are said and done, by LSU, where he put that ball. Was really good location.
LSU will keep it on the ground, a little toss to the edge, and slamming his way for 3 or 4 is Caleb Jackson. Jacoby Covington on the stop for SC.
The other thing that he's doing a really good job of is Malik Neighbors is playing for the New York Giants, and Brian Thomas for the Jaguars. Those guys last year were so instrumental, now first rounders and off to bigger and better things. Wish them all the best. He's thrown to 7 different receivers tonight, spreading it around.
Nussmeier put it where only his guy could get it, and has been a very productive first half for LSU tight end Mason Taylor, who makes that grab. It's a little bit short of the first down. They'll need a couple.
You know, we used to talk about Mason Taylor and talk about his dad, Jason, who's a Hall of Famer, played for the Dolphins in the NFL, and such a great job. It's such a big story, but that was true 2 years ago. It's still true now, but he's a different guy now. He's put some weight on, and he is a legitimate, he is Mason Taylor. No longer Jason Taylor, just Jason Taylor's son.
And Jason had a good day yesterday. Defensive end coach for Miami Hurricanes. After they put it on Florida. First down conversion. Kyron Lacey, who caught the touchdown pass, gets the first down.
Remember 2 years ago, we called this game when he was a true freshman, and into overtime against Alabama. They were expected a big underdog at home at night in Death Valley, and that was it in overtime, the game winner. And we showed his mom there, who was in tears. It was really a special night for him and for his family, and kind of his introduction on a national scene of who he is. And as I said, 2 years later, has become one of the top tight ends in college football, and having a big night tonight.
Well, now we've made 2 of our game day colleagues mad. You made Nick Saban mad by showing that, and then I assumed that Zachariah Branch would just dust the kickoff guy on the return, so McAfee's never going to let me hear the end of that.
30 seconds, timeout.
As LSU uses a timeout here. Remember, too, we start a new college football season. We're at 2:36 to play here in the first half. There is a new 2-minute timeout. We've been asked not to call it a warning, but at 2 minutes, there's a timeout and a clock stoppage at the end of each half in college football. So an entertaining first half, and both defenses have acquitted themselves well after being much maligned, and rightfully so, the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think that's a great reset. You know, we came into this game with 2 new defensive coordinators. Both guys have tried to rebuild the confidence and kind of the culture on that side of the ball. They played pretty well, considering the other storyline coming in is 2 quarterbacks replacing Heisman Trophy winners. Caleb Williams, who won it last year at USC, and Miller Moss. And, of course, what Jaden Daniels has been able to do the last few years, especially last year. So great stories from the past, but tonight I think both these quarterbacks are showing their fan bases what they can do.
And there have been solid offensive plays, but these 2 defenses the last couple of years have been very sieve-like, and it's not the case. They're working for it in this one. Another strike from Nussmeier to Lacey. He's inside the 35 and down to the 32. He is slinging darts, man.
Yeah, I just can't remember a ball that he's missed, you know, and he's just throwing in rhythm. And look at that ball layered right over top of the linebacker, in front of the defensive back. Just Hitch, rhythm, ball out on the money.
Josh Williams in the backfield. Josh slips a tackle from Jamil Muhammad, but he does not get away from Nate Clifton as we time. Caleb Jackson, the setback. Ty Nussmeier, and there it is. Kirk, you said he hasn't missed one all day. There wasn't much room to find Xavier Thomas there, and he goes out of bounds.
He's frustrated with himself. He's 19 of 23. He has a throwaway, a drop, and he's missed on 2 passes in the entire first half with 1:57 to go.
And you have one caught out of bounds in the end zone, too.
Yeah.
I called Jameis Winston's first game where his only incomplete passes were actually caught out of bounds. First game as a starter, 25 to 27.
Who did he play that night?
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Nussmeier's taking a back seat to no one and being on target so far tonight. Now he needs 10 on 3rd down. Dumps it to Taylor, and SC is there to stop him immediately. Akili Arnold, transfer from Oregon State, who's been a leader on this defense, makes a big play.
I feel like when Danton Lynn is not blitzing, they're having a lot more success of being able to come up with pressure and still do a good job of rallying to the football with their eyes on Nussmeier and on those mesh routes. See how they not running side to side with man coverage, sitting back in zone, letting the ball be completed, and then rallying to the football.
So Brian Kelly will send out Damian Ramos to try a 45.5-yard field goal here. They're going to place it down between the 35 and 36. Ramos with the weather on the way. And we are tied at 10 with 1:08 to play here in the first half. Brian Kelly sees that drive pay off. A lot of LSU fans here in the Taco Bell Live My Student section all season long. Student sections across the country competing to be the Taco Bell Live My Student section of the year. You can download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Javi?
Well, there's a lot of those fans who are here in Las Vegas supporting Zachariah Branch. He grew up right here in the city. He said had to have a lot of friends and family here, including his mom and dad and grandparents. He is really showing out for USC. Some electric plays on that last drive. When I asked him how he became one of the fastest men in college football, he really credits his dog, Scooter, a Shih Tzu puppy that he grew up with. He said that dog would look at me in the house. I would start to chase it. It would start to chase me. He said that's where I get my zip and my zag from. The Scooter dog really helped him shine on this bright stage. He said that's where all the fast speed came from early in his life.
That's great.
They played at Bishop Gorman.
Right?
Yeah, Zachariah and Zion Branch, who's also a member of the USC team here in Las Vegas. Zachariah was a state champion, player of the year then in the state of Nevada, and so many great college players have been produced by the Juggernaut program here in Las Vegas. He almost had a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Yeah, last year he was introduced to college football, really more of a specialist, of course. Great return man. He's still doing that, but now we're seeing him play a lot more receiver.
Branch is going to let that one go. Hey, we're not finished with this first full weekend of college football. Tomorrow night, Boston College and Florida State in the Capital One Labor Day kickoff. Coverage begins 7 o'clock Eastern Time. College football countdown gets you started. Then it's the Eagles and the Seminoles.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing that one. We all were kind of shocked by what Georgia Tech did over in Dublin, Ireland, and Florida State now has a chance to regroup. You always see teams improve the most from week 1 to week 2. But remember, a lot of fans forget Bill O'Brien took that job at BC, has a very, very athletic quarterback who can run and throw, so that'll be a great one to watch tomorrow night.
And Thomas Castellanos did a really good job last year for Boston College, and now Bill O'Brien taking over. We had a chance to see Bill at a high school camp over the summer out there recruiting, spreading the word for Boston College. After being at Ohio State as the offensive coordinator for just a few days before getting the opportunity to be a head coach.
You see him kind of flexing his hand there. He got pressure again on that left side and on the follow-through. We saw that last night in the Texas A&M Notre Dame game. Just on the follow-through, it looks like he might have hit the back of his own offensive lineman's, back of his jersey, maybe the helmet.
And they picked up 9 on that pass to Kyron Hudson, and Woody Marks trying to get to the first down marker.
Yeah, I think he's fine. It's on the follow-through. I think he looks like he's fine. It just hits him right on the back there. I just noticed he was kind of flexing his hand after that. did not pick up the first down, so we do have that 3rd and short.
And the clock's still running because of that. It'd be interesting if they pick it up here to see if USC gets a little more aggressive, but there are a lot of seconds draining off this clock right now.
Lincoln Riley calls a timeout.
I think
USC, their first of the half.
I think they thought it'd be a given. They'd pick up the first down and
exactly.
Clock would stop. Plenty of time to regroup, but instead the clock got away from them. Good job of recognizing that with all 3 timeouts. Obviously might as well use one of them. I wondered, you know, after LSU tied it with a new quarterback, would Lincoln Riley just say, okay, let's get in at half, or he shows the confidence just like we're seeing from Garrett Nussmeier with his staff. They believe in these quarterbacks, and he's not typical Lincoln Riley. He's an aggressive guy by nature and not really pulling back and just trying to work the clock. He wants to try to get into field goal range and give his guy a chance to get 3 points.
I think as long as Moss has been around, and as well as he played in the bowl game,
sure,
you go ahead and give him a shot here. But I think you're right on the money. That was a little bit of an assumption right there. Easy first down. Clock still stops in college football at this point in the halves to reset the chains, though not throughout the entire game as it once did. And they didn't get the benefit of that, and they lost some time there.
And for me, it's not so much about Miller Moss. It's about the offensive line and the protection. And it's not, I think Miller Moss and the receivers you believe in. That's pitch and catch, but I think it's more, can they protect?
Well, Moss getting some heat. They tried to send it up to the back. Woody Barks broke one tackle, but not the second one. A lot of white shirts there. Put it to a short stop, and let's see if Lincoln uses a timeout. Oh, I checked that. I beg your pardon. Picked up the first down. That was a 3rd down play, so it will stop momentarily. And now the clock is winding again. And Moss throws it out in the flat, gets it out to his tight end McCree, who's knocked out of bounds. And clock will stop with 23 seconds to play here in the first half.
Now, this is where Harold Perkins, if you're an LSU fan, there was such a big splash onto the scene 2 years ago when he was played more as an edge player. They moved him out to play that star position last year. Now back to the inside, that will linebacker. Put on some weight. He's up to 220, 225. He's right in the middle, but great time to rush him to be able to try to get after Miller Moss.
Moss right down the middle and right on the money finds Makai Lemon. That'll be a first down to the 36. And based on pregame warmups, they're right on the edge of field goal range already. And
USC has called their second timeout of the half.
Now,
30 seconds.
Page right here is going to get pushed back into Miller Moss, but he does a great job of just kind of reading this seam and being able to put this football. See, late movement by LSU, that's tricky for a lot of quarterbacks. He gets hit by, again, just that pressure, but is zeroed in downfield. Reads that safety moving after the snap, puts the ball right into that seam for a nice completion. Beautiful.
You know, we've been singing Nussmeier's praises, and rightfully so, but Moss is 13 of 16 for $176, and the offensive lineman got driven right back.
Swinson just pushed Elijah Page on that left side. He's a big man, but he is being challenged by the strength and the power and even the speed of this LSU edge pressure. They're mixing up different looks. You know, he's seen Savion Jones, Parrish Cheyenne, Womack's been in there, Swinson. Blake Baker doing a good job of mixing up different looks and trying to create matchups where his guys can win.
Thank you.
And Page just a redshirt freshman too. He'll continue to get that grown man strength as they have 18 seconds now on the clock after Lincoln called that timeout. Remember, we still have in-helmet communication until 15 seconds on the play clock. Go on the ground. Woody Marks has a seam. Marks inside the 20, and he's knocked down. Clock will stop to move the chains. 12 seconds left. SC still with a timeout. Moss getting up there quickly trying to spike the ball. He does, and he gets it stopped with 9 showing on the clock.
How about the call by Lincoln Riley to run the football? He's going to pull the tight end, also pull the guard around, and it just opens up. There's just no one there. Look how spread out the LSU defense is. Good job by that right guard, Noah, to pick up that block. And then look, McCree, also the tight end, is able to pick up a very nice block there to spring him loose.
And now to the right side of the formation. We got a big receiver in Jacoby Lane. Time for a shot to the end zone if they want it. Instead, they'll try the run again. Marks tried to slip one tackle, and he's knocked down at about the 12, and with 3 ticks, now 2 ticks, Lincoln gets the timeout, and the field goal unit is headed onto the field.
Timeout of the half, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was with you. I wondered if they might take a shot, but LSU did the right thing. They dropped 2 safeties back, taking away the deep threat on the outside. I think Lincoln Riley tried, hey, we fooled him once before. Let's run this football again. Maybe he can split those safeties.
Do you think it could have been an automatic and a read from Moss based on what he saw right there?
Yeah. In either-or situation there.
Yeah.
Saw the coverage, and this made it a little bit easier for the kicker here. So think about where this drive started. We were debating, are they going to try to get in the field goal range? I mean, they're all the way down here, where it should be what is a gimme for this kicker.
Michael Lance, the transfer kicker. He's 1 for 1, made one from 22, this one from 29. It is on the way, and he missed it.
I said again. Oh, that's on me. I'm taking that.
Away to Zachariah Branch, who almost took a kickoff to the house in the first half, and Burrell was the guy who stopped him from doing so. Second half is underway. Burrell drives it deep. It'll be a touchback, and SC will take over at the 25. Take a look at our playbook brought to you by Modelo.
Yeah, we just talked about the quarterbacks, and if you're just joining us, boy, Garrett Nussmeier has been in a zone. He is 20 of 24 for 191 yards and a touchdown. Seems like every ball he throws, he's giving his receivers the wide receivers a chance to make a play, and it's really same can be said for Miller Moss. How about that catch right there by Kyron Hudson, maybe the catch of the year when it's all said and done. But again, look at the accuracy. Just in a zone, showing some passion and emotion, trying to lead his team to a victory.
Those two guys have been spinning it for sure, waited behind Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, and now making their mark after both performed well in the bowl games at the end of last year. First carry of the second half goes to Woody Marks. Mississippi State transfer had a good first half. That's another carry. He's getting up close to the 50-yard mark as you look at the stats for both quarterbacks.
Pretty good, huh? And you can see Miller Moss getting the ball downfield. Garrett Nussmeier has had some rhythmic throws where the ball's been able to get out quickly. A lot of that has to do with USC's coverage, just kind of sitting back, so he's taking advantage of some of those quick throws. Good shot of him there in the backdrop as Miller Moss goes to work here.
Nussmeier getting those hammies loose for when his turn comes. Joyner is in the backfield. Quentin Joyner, and he gets away from the tackler, Braden Swinson, who was about to body slam him, it looked like, and somehow Swinson let him slip out of his grasp.
But what a job right here. Just being able to shoot a gap here. Transfer from Wisconsin. Paez does a nice job. And even though he didn't bring him down, it's just the fact that he just disrupted the play. And allows the rest of that defense. Eventually, they bring Joyner down. Joyner's known as a speed guy. They're showing some power.
Third down and 3 in this opening possession of the second half. Empty backfield. Marks split out wide. They'll get it out to Mekhi Lemon, and Lemon had it knocked free. Lemon tried to get on top of it just in case it was a backward pass. I think that was
Rolling on the
pretty
field
clear.
is an incomplete pass.
I think that was pretty clearly an incomplete pass.
What a quick reaction from Jordan Allen. You know, we talk about quarterbacks getting a pre-snap read. Here he gets a pre-snap read with all those receivers out in front, the tight end starting to motion out that way. He anticipated that ball was going to be thrown quickly. No chance at all for Jacoby Lane to make that block because of that quick reaction.
Jacoby Lane.
Number 10 is now wearing number 96 for USC.
You'll hear some of that so you don't have the duplicate numbers on the field that we saw happen in the Virginia Tech Vanderbilt game yesterday. Czapleski punts it away. Fabian Thomas driven back inside his 15. Thomas looking for an alley. He gets it across the 25, and he'll be knocked down right about the 28-yard line. The NFL season starts. Here to watch his former backup Garrett Nussmeier as his first possession of the second half. Short pickup on the run with Williams as we check in with Holly.
The offensive line has to control the rest of this game. That's what Brian Kelly told me at halftime. He said they only ran at 46 yards in the first half because this USC defense has shown them a ton of pressures, played a lot of cover one, and loaded the box, really daring them to throw the football. He said, we have to exert our will here in the second half if we're going to win this game. Got to have a lot more than 46 yards rushing. You can see they rushed it on their very first attempt.
Well, Howie, those two tackles that our friend Field Yates has in the top 11, potentially the upcoming draft, Will Campbell on the left side, number 50 Emory Jones on the right side, as good a pair of tackles as there is in college football. And play is halted for the moment as USC trainers out to attend to Greedy Vance, former Florida State defensive back, nickelback, who is sitting up but still down on the turf here. There are the two guys, and Will Campbell talked about this, Kirk, being a business trip, not coming here for the casinos, coming here to impose their will, and so far SC's been able to stand in there against them.
Yeah, I think you said a fist fight. You know, that's what they're looking to do. I remember calling games for LSU 2 years ago, and these guys, it's pretty rare to see two freshmen, true freshman offensive tackles in a starting lineup, but that's where they were 2 years ago. All this playing experience in the SEC, now here they are as three-year starters and seasoned vets, and already a lot of people anticipating what they can do at the next level. 66 is just a man-child. He pushes people around. I think he's as good as there is.
And in a complimentary way, he's got a nasty disposition about him. And
love that.
Probably something that the 5 general managers from the National Football League in attendance tonight are keeping an eye on. To the ground now. Second time in a row here in the second half. First 2 plays in the second half, LSU runs it. This one with Caleb Jackson.
This defense from USC is doing a good job. We've talked so much about the quarterbacks, but again, Danton Len, the new defensive coordinator, this defense from USC allowed 40 points or more in a game 5 times last season. That's the second most in the Power 5, and they only allowed 10 against LSU in this first game of the year.
SC went 3 and out, first 3 and out of the game when they had it. Now the Trojan defense trying to force LSU into a 3 and out. Nussmeier fires outside, and that is a really good grab by C.J. Daniels, who tried to stretch to get that to the marker.
Well, that is a long throw on third down. He thinks they have this. It's a heck of a throw. He gives him a chance there. Ball's to the outside. Boy, he extends. I think he's down. The knee's down.
I think the forearm went down before he extended the ball far enough out. So,
yeah, the left forearm.
Yeah. And it is 4th down, and back-to-back 3 and outs, as now it'll be Peyton Todd coming in to punt it away for LSU after Blake Oxendorf punted earlier in the game. Branch waiting, makes the grab, makes the first guy miss somehow. Second guy does not. You better get a lot of dudes around him. His balance is extraordinary. Weeks finally got him to the turf. Trojans will have the ball back when you come back.
Later.
And changed things up after that, and there was a miscommunication, and that could have very easily been disastrous. Ashton Stamps was there. It was after that, you know, the Pac-12 Big Ten teams played within the BCS, and the USC played Oklahoma the next year, and then eventually
the Texas game out at the Rose Bowl. But talk to LSU fans even this week. You heard talk about finally we get a chance at repaying them back. Like, wow, I didn't realize it was such a sensitive topic. USC from 03.
Kirk, you know college football fans have very long memories.
And a lot of these guys playing weren't even alive.
I don't like to think about that part.
Me either.
Moss throwing over the middle, and what a great play by Ashton Stamps to knock it away from Kyle Ford. Ford, who started at USC, went to UCLA, and now he's back.
What a good job with that left arm, not allowing the right hand to get involved with pass interference. Has his eyes on the quarterback the entire time, was in phase, gets around the receiver and the left-hand end to knock it away. It's the second time he's made a great play. Remember in the end zone, he didn't give up.
Saved the touchdown. Yeah, that's why we're tied. 3rd down and 10. Empty backfield. Miller Moss. Got time. Firing down the middle. This time no one knocks it away from Ford. Ford across midfield into LSU territory before he's finally knocked down. Jordan Allen stops stops him, and a huge play from Moss to Ford picks up 41.
Zachariah Branch actually, I think, was the intended target. They end up going to Ford. Ford cut in front of that and ends up making that catch. But you see one right behind there? He actually broke free a little bit late. And that's exactly where they were trying to throw this football. I think he was as surprised as anybody. The big tight end goes up and makes that catch. The big receiver makes the catch. Ford
played a little bit of both in his career. A lot of guys going back and forth from UCLA to USC these days. They go back to the ground with Woody Marks.
With Branch, you and I were talking at a break. When Branch gets his hands on the football and you're a defense, you better leverage the football, because he is going to get away from people. That time almost used as much as just a decoy to get the defense consumed, thinking about his big play ability. And then Ford stepped in front of that, had a lot of room to run.
Branch in motion, and I think we might have had a little early movement. There's a flag down on the far side of the field.
Yeah, Page has had such a tough night. That time he's trying to get a head start.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Kind of like what we were talking about last night with Notre Dame playing a true freshman. In this case, a redshirt freshman. But those guys living on the edge against veteran SEC now. Big defensive ends that are quick. And you're going against different techniques. Swenson does one thing. Savion Jones another. So because they're seeing different guys line up across from them, it's a lot to deal with for the redshirt freshman left tackle.
Moss now needing 12, buys a little time, completes it to Ford. Ford's making his presence felt in this drive. Major Burns there to make the stop. Bring up third and about 8, it looks like.
Loved what Blake Baker told us this week about this LSU defense. He said, we are hunting for negative plays. We want to get in that backfield. We want to get into these third and obvious passing situations. They've done a pretty good job of that in the first half. A sack, 3 tackles for a loss, forcing a fumble. Now, here they get SC again thanks to that penalty behind the sticks. See what kind of pressure they can get.
Trojans have converted 3 times and 6 chances on third down tonight. Moss throwing the fade, throwing deep, and flags coming everywhere as they're going to get P.J. Woodland, the youngster, the freshman from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, for interference.
Yeah, never located the football. You know, it's a tough thing to do,
Pass
especially for a true freshman.
Defense number 11. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
And not bad recognition either, because Moss went right after it.
6'6", you go after the seasoned receiver going up. By the way, this young freshman is going to be a superstar in the SEC. He's a great player. This time he's just out of position. You can see his head never turns around. Good job by Deuce Robinson continuing to work through the body of P.J. Woodland. He's looking at him saying to the ref, hey, that's offensive interference, but without his head turned around, it is not. That's PI.
6th penalty against LSU tonight for 60 yards. That one cost him a first down. Moss going back to work on the left, going right back at him, and again, the ball is knocked away from Kyron Hudson, and that time, an excellent play made by Woodland.
Boy, they're going right after him. You know, you see this, you know, sometimes at college, guys are afraid to go back to the same play, back-to-back plays. Not in this case at all. You know, they are trying to do a good job with Lincoln Riley understanding, hey, we've got a true freshman out there. We're confident in our receivers are going to win that one-on-one matchup. Let's go right back to him.
Hudson's made a spectacular catch tonight, but that's twice he's had catches in his hands and had the ball knocked away by LSU defenders. One of them would have been a touchdown. That one would have put him on the doorstep. Instead, it's 2nd and 10. Joyner on the ground. Joyner met in there by number 40, Whit Weeks. Now the third much more manageable.
See, when I think of Lincoln Riley's offense, that's what I think of in those Oklahoma days. You know, that counter play and just the running back not getting touched till he's 8 or 9 yards downfield. And then that sets up their play action game. I think that's going to be more of their identity than where they've been these last couple of years with the playmaking ability of Caleb Williams, where he would get back there and have an ability to improvise.
Multiple tight ends on the field in this 3rd down and 5. Moss under heat, down he goes. Pressure in there coming from Savion Jones, and he gets the big sack on 3rd down to force the field goal try.
It's an effort sack right here, and he should be the first one to go over and high-five the secondary because of the coverage that they played. Zone coverage, good job of taking away all the potential options, and then Jones just does not give up on this play. He's been close. This time, doesn't give up and gets around Mason Murphy for a sack.
Okay, Michael Landskirk, who's 1 for 2 tonight. A hard outside rush made him flinch on the miss he had from 29. This one from 35. And this time he does not flinch, and he puts USC on top with 7:13 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And we've got a barn burner here in Las Vegas tonight.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll even count for tomorrow, Monday night's game, and all through the rest of the season. Kyron Hudson, what a catch right here going up. I think all of America who saw that live, they've reviewed that, and the call stands. We're happy about that. The catch is made. There's his former quarterback, Caleb Williams, now with the Bears. 10, enough said. 10? You're insane. And we all agree.
That was just spectacular. Flags flying, and
a rare mistake there by the left tackle, Will Campbell.
False start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
I was about to say a few snaps ago that this has been a relatively clean game in terms of penalties, but now LSU is starting to pile up a few. That's the 7th one. Had the big pass interference penalty earlier that aided that previous field goal drive for the Trojans. Nussmeier over the middle. There's Mason Taylor. Taylor's got the catch again. So we go down to Holly Rowe.
Well, I'm here with Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner. And Jaden, this is pretty cool for you to see your backup Garrett Nussmeier performing at this level. What stood out to you about how he's playing?
He's been taking care of the football, putting this team in a manageable situation. We just got to finish now.
What are you excited about for your NFL debut next weekend in Tampa?
Man, to be able to play in the NFL, that's what I'm most excited about.
Look who's loose. It's John Emery back at LSU, and the former highly touted high school running back who's had a star-crossed career rips off a huge gain on that one, 39 yards.
And they go with a counter play here with Frazier and Jones. Yep, Holly, tell him thank you. That was awesome to hear from him. But what a good job here of getting upfield by Emery. Waited patiently for the box to clear, and then right away is able to get north and south with that speed. And what a great job to see him. You know, he had the ACL last year against Florida, worked his way back. And, you know, they need running backs. They need depth to keep them fresh. Good to see 22 out there.
And they signed him, Kirk. He was the highest-rated running back they'd signed since Leonard Fournette. Had injuries and some other off-the-field issues as Nussmeier throws incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 as we go back to Holly.
Okay, we were rudely interrupted by a great run. tell me about the O-line. You've been in the trenches with these guys.
Man, love those guys, miss those guys. Tremendous blocking right there. You know, I'm just excited to see them. I'm excited to see them block out there. That's the heartbeat of the team.
All right, well, we can't wait to see you ball out in the NFL, man. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Go Commanders.
Well, Jaden deserved to be interrupted. Do you know how many people he interrupted with plays like that during his career at LSU? Back to Emery. Why not? Emery slamming inside the 20. He's got an LSU 1st down, it would appear.
How about pulling the big left tackle? Watch, you'll see him as we roll this, the left tackle right inside of Mason Taylor. He gets his head up, does a good job there on Muhammad. Really good blocks that time, and you're starting to see a fresh back in John Emery get loose a little bit here.
Emery went into the transfer portal after that injury last year, decided to come back. There was a spot available. Ryan Kelly's certainly glad to have him right now. All right, back to 22. Emery will push it down to the 16, maybe the 50. And then they're going to mark it right at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, he and Josh Williams, the only 2 LSU Tigers that were a part of that amazing 2019 National Championship team with Joe Burrow and company, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I mean, the list goes on and on. So many great players, Patrick Queen, and they were young freshmen on that team, and here they are. 6 years later, still playing college football, and both have a chance to have an impact and help the Tigers this year offensively.
Williams started as a walk-on, now wears that coveted number 18. At the moment, it's Caleb Jackson in at running back. Jackson has it. He slips a tackle. He's finally hit by Mascarenas Arnold and stops short of the first down. Third down coming.
If you go back to the beginning of the game in our open, this is what we kind of thought, talking to Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan, that, hey, we've got 4 veteran offensive linemen. 4 of them are 3-year starters. We got a stable of backs. We don't have Jaden Daniels. We don't have Brian Thomas. We don't have Malik Neighbors. We're going to run the ball. Take the pressure off of the quarterback in the pass game. It's been the opposite of that for most of the game, but here late, rotating backs and relying on that big veteran line.
Nussmeier making checks. He needs 4 on third down. Throw. He's got Aaron Anderson. Anderson has a pass to the end zone, and LSU's back on top late in the third.
What a drive. Nice job of mixing up that play call there by the offensive play caller, Joe Sloan. They ran the ball only for 46 yards in the first half. That drive alone, 55 yards for that go-ahead score.
They've been able to pull even and pull even and pull even, and now with 3:42 to play, Bayou Bengals on top for the first time. Ramos on to try to make it 17-13 and a 4-point edge, and he does.
Nussmeier sees again the cushion. We've seen this a number of times where we got a flag, get some pushing and shoving after the extra point.
And see if these will be offsetting or if the flag will go one way or the other. We already saw that impact earlier with an unsportsmanlike against LSU that backed them up on the kickoff.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, correction, defense number 6. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That's number 6's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game.
Yeah, again, we've seen this on these third and shorts. The cushion, which opens up in man coverage, a quick out. The timing is perfect by Nussmeier, but after he makes his throw, watch the collision by 2 USC defenders. I mean, there's a chance there, very, very good chance that he's not going to get in the end zone. Maybe a chance to try to keep him short of the first down. But after the ball is thrown, nice ball, nice catch, and then the 2 defenders run into each other, makes it very easy for Anderson to walk that sideline and into the end zone.
The sophomore from New Orleans getting in. There's Jaden Daniels celebrating. Started his career at Arizona State, but boy, he is etched in LSU lore. Joe Sloan talking about how now with Garrett Nussmeier, with, before you'd look at Joe Burrow having won the Heisman Trophy and all of the accolades to him, but now he walks in and sees the giant Jaden Daniels mural. It's the guy he was teammates with, and it's staring him in the face in the quarterback room every day.
Yeah,
it's standard, right?
It's not like looking at, oh, those Billy Cannon, from
Burt
it's
Jones,
like Joe
right?
Burrow,
yeah,
and Jaden Daniels. But he has not blinked tonight. Speaking of Garrett Nussmeier.
So now after the penalty, LSU will kick off from the 15-yard line, and the penalty was against Anthony Lucas, the fine defensive end for the Trojans, who lost his composure momentarily and hit for the unsportsmanlike conduct. And now we'll see how they handle this with Damian Ramos, their field goal kicker, using this kickoff. See if they pooch it. I always wonder about onside from here. I mean, what's the worst can happen? They start, 35 or 40. Just squib it down the middle and hope it bounces free, but USC is able to corral it effectively. Makai Lemon
kept it out of the hands of one, so that's a win.
Yeah, that's actually a win. Come to think of it, to keep it away from Branch. Let's have a look at what happened at the end of that extra point that led to that kickoff. Dive in and just in the middle, and okay, that's the right tackle. Emory Jones from LSU ended up having his headgear ripped off, we think, by Lucas.
Yeah, Anthony Lucas.
Yeah. So, at any rate, all pretty much came out in the wash as SC will start this possession. His own 20-yard line, 3:38 to play here in the third quarter. Trojans find themselves down by 4. They fake a little trickery, and the ball's on the ground, and man, oh man, is USC fortunate to come up with that as Elijah Page was Elijah on the spot, as it were.
A hesitation here because of the timing. I love the backers getting downhill. See him wait. He's trying to bait them and then flip it. Boy, is that a dangerous play and decision by Woody Marks. Something you maybe do at a Wednesday practice, but not out here in prime time in Vegas against this LSU defense.
Now they're backed up, and it's 2nd and 18, and the purple and gold faithful feeling themselves, and USC maybe throwing it in reverse some more.
False start. Offense number 6. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Makai Lemon, the receiver, called for the false start. Now it's going to be 2nd and 23.
You know, we're all for any way of getting the ball into the hands of Zachariah Branch. And that's what they were trying to do when Marks held on. Just the timing, just not quite there. Throw the penalty on top of that. And it's putting Miller Moss and his offensive line in a tough spot right in front of the LSU faithful.
When Marks will try to get some of that ground back, he gets it up across the 10 to the 12-yard line, brings up 3rd and long. You know, trying to catch them unaware on the attempt at a reverse might have been good in theory, but one of the things that blew it up was that LSU was starting to impose some havoc in that defensive front. Now look at this lineup. We've got one guy with his hand down. That's Paris Shand, and he's right over the center. This is pass rushing guys, but only 3 of them. Shand gets right to Miller Moss, and he hits him. Or Miller delivers it in time, but it'll be well short of the first down. Catch made by Deuce Robinson.
Yeah, they just rush 3, drop 8, keep the ball in front of them, play smart, don't want to give anything up. You got to get all the way out to the 30-yard line, and only rushing 3. You can see Moss, as soon as he delivered the football, he's hit. So it wasn't like he was back there waiting and waiting and waiting. I don't think his receivers had much time to get down
USC
beyond the first down marker.
Not wearing number 96.
That was another example, this time Paris Shand really being aggressive. As Czapleski to bunt it away. Thomas trying to clear everyone away from it, and it's going to get a nice USC roll, and their Trojans are trying to get it to roll more, and it gets down to the 23-yard line. Well, don't forget, the U.S. Open round of 16 continues tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time on ESPN. 4 hours of primetime tennis starting on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern. Every point streaming live on the ESPN app. Our buddy Chris Fowler took off from College Station last night, going back to the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he was back to work today, getting it done, doing a great job. Had a 3-setter, I believe, right, Billy?
Billy Bunnell, right on top of the tennis world there to make sure we have all of the facts.
I think he used to work the tennis world for a long time. He's worked everything.
Bunnell's worked every world. And masterfully so, you might say. Back to the ground for LSU. Wait, John Emery. Look at John Emery.
Man, this guy's running with a different attitude. Nice to see him healthy. It's incredible. He got injured and tore that ACL in November. That is a late injury in 2023, and he is not slowing down at all. Done a good job with his rehab to put himself in position to be able to actually get out here and compete with his teammates and really have an impact here tonight.
And Kirk, one of the things, when he was a younger guy, he had some academic struggles at LSU. It's really great to see him stick with it, being able to finish his career in a place that's been important to him. And boy, he's had an impact in this game tonight as Nussmeier flips it out there, and the aforementioned Mr. Emery is becoming a go-to guy.
And just to remind people, and I know LSU fans know this, but when they signed him, they thought they had the back for the future. I mean, like you said, 5-star, if not the top running back coming out that year, 1 or 2. And then because of some of the issues that you mentioned with academics and the injuries.
New Trojan defensive coordinator Danton Lynn to find a way to get the ball back. Here's Emery. Emery runs into Eric Gentry, and he's knocked down after a pickup of 3 or 4.
This is the point in the game. 17-13. We've been bragging about USC and Danton Lynn, the new defensive coordinator. He's done as good a job as he can of rotating bodies to stay fresh. But you kind of sense it with the way Emery's running. It's not just Emery. I mean, he's got some holes to run into. These last couple possessions, they're relying more on that offensive line, more on trying to wear down SC, and as you said, impose their will on the Trojans defense.
Pressure coming. Nussmeier gets rid of it. A little miscommunication as his receiver broke it off. He thought he was going to go deep. So they'll bring up a 3rd down for the Bayou Bengals.
They brought pressure. They brought one more than they could handle. Played 0 coverage. Again, he's mixing up the looks. He's playing some zone, playing some man. When he brings pressure, sometimes he's got safeties back. That time with 0, there's nobody back. Everybody's ISO matched up one-on-one. But again, good job. Not just a miscommunication, but a lot of that had to do with SC's defense bringing that pressure. Now they show pressure again. That's 7 guys up tight.
They brought in Mason Taylor to help handle it. He doesn't go out into the route, and he does. And thrown out of the backfield, complete to Josh Williams, and Kamari Ramsey, who's made several plays in the open field tonight, makes the stop and forces the 4th down.
So they walked up 7 guys here, and you're trying to figure out, even with a veteran experienced offensive line, if they're going to all come like they did just the last play, are they going to drop out? And he feels that pressure and has to check it down. And because they went from that man look pre-snap to a zone look, they had eyes on the football and forced him to throw it underneath, and they're able to make that play.
Hope you watch College Game Day on Saturday. Nick Saban's film room, he talked about things like that with the simulated pressures that Mike Elko and Texas A&M do so well. And you see Lynn executing it and his players executing it for USC. Branch hauls it in. Flag comes flying in as he makes the fair catch just across the 15. That was a good arm by the official, too. I think that was a field judge in the back who let that thing fly.
I think you had 20 yards out of that.
Yeah.
Easy.
Now, this Big 12 crew will get together and talk it over.
There is no foul on the play. Timeout.
Just loosening up the rotator cuff on the throw. No foul. Just had to get that thing.
So this is pretty much what goes on here. The big fella's he's had a long weekend. He's hung out with Johnny Manziel. He's been on the all over Notre Dame, A&M. Took a late flight, got in at 4 in the morning, and he's kind of had enough. He's over this, even though we're going to have a great finish.
Great finish coming. First carry of this drive goes to Woody Marks of USC. Both of these defenses, we talked about it all night, have been maligned, but here in a relatively low-scoring game, 17-13 in the 4th, both of them have red zone stops after ranking in the bottom 15 or so in the country last year in red zone stops. Now we've seen forced punts, and LSU trying to keep the Trojans bottled up. What do Miller Moss, Lincoln Riley, and company have for the answer on 2nd and 11? Lemon in motion. Moss throwing the glass, finds McCree, and late McCree, who's had some big plays tonight, makes the grab. Jordan Allen knocks him down. It's a first down at SC.
Greg Penn has his eyes in the backfield here. The backers here kind of following the quarterback. The blitz, the linebacker on one side. See his eyes kind of looking out this way? What a call by Lincoln Riley to then slip the tight end right behind him. So the action of the receiver, Lemon, draws the eyes of the defense and then slipping him right behind it with a perfectly executed pass there by Miller Moss.
Well, McCree had an injured knee in bowl practice, came back quickly. So good to have the pads on. He's made an impact tonight. Both Moss is feeling all kinds of heat. And how in the world did he get that in there? Jacoby Lane with the grab.
I can't believe he got this off. They brought 40 again on this blitz, and he gets in clean. Well, I thought he'd at the very least get a hand on this. He's falling backwards to make this throw, and he splits the corner and the safety to big number 8 at 6'4", who holds on to that ball. But Miller Moss with a great play there on that 1st and 10 call.
Kirk, look at these numbers. Moss 18 of 24, 268 yards, and the Trojans are at midfield. Moss again, heat's coming, fires, and he's got his tight end McCree again. He'll pick up about 7 down to the LSU 43.
Now that corner came from his right near the boundary, and I think the receiver was expecting a kind of a hot or a side adjust to the ball to be thrown. Moss never really looked out that way. I think he was hoping the back marks would pick it up, but you could see right away Lane kind of calling for the ball with that safety off after that blitz, but they picked it up and still allowed him to be able to complete the ball underneath.
Nussmeier watching on as his counterpart trying to give SC the lead back. Moss down the middle. Another completion and another USC first down. This time it's Cade Eldridge.
Don't underestimate Lincoln Riley in these situations. I know he's been a little bit off the radar the last couple years as far as what's wrong with USC, but this guy is as good as there is at calling plays. This guy's as good as there is at holding back plays and formations and personnel groupings to get into the 4th quarter in a 1-possession game and come up with new ways to attack you. So just when you think you have a handle on how he's attacking, he's going to change the page on you and try to be one step ahead.
Quentin Joyner, the speed back to the left of Moss. Joyner has it. Joyner runs through a tackle or 2, or he's knocked down by Savion Jones.
3 jump cut behind that counter. They pulled the left guard and the left tackle. That play is designed to bounce out to the right, but LSU took that away. Watch the left guard and the left tackle. You'd love to see that get in there to the just off that right side, but it was completely taken away. Good vision and a nice job of jumping back to at least get some positive yards.
7th play of this drive coming. Gave Joyner 4 on that last carry. 2nd and 6. Pressure off the edge. Ball batted high into the air. Still up there and diving for it and almost intercepted. It'll be an incomplete pass. That was Deshaun Womack who got a hand on it.
He has been bringing blitzes with these backers, so they bring Perkins, they bring Penn, and then Womack off the edge. They keep trying to put Mason Murphy. They keep trying to isolate him and make him make a choice. Is it to blitz off to his outside, or is he going to deal with that blitz and pressure from the inside? Wherever he goes, someone else is coming free.
Trojans taking a second to get lined up. Play clock now at 5. 3rd down, and they got up on him, and they'll have to use a timeout. You don't want to make a mistake here. This is a big drive, but we'll see
USC.
if that becomes an issue later. Of course,
the first of the half.
you have the 2-minute timeout now, new in college football this year, so that gives you a little more latitude should you need another stoppage. Remember, we have the coach to helmet communications that turns off at 15 seconds, so it wasn't as if that was the issue at the end, but it might have caused some confusion as we saw SC struggling to get lined up properly.
I can't wait till we get a week or 2 into the season. Maybe College Game Day can do a kind of an update feature on not just the helmet communication, but the tablets on the sideline. The NFL's had tablets forever. Those are still shots. College football has the video, and it'd be interesting. Okay, in camp you thought this. Now you've had 3 or 4 games to try to work it. What are the pros? What are the cons? Because I think everybody's kind of learning as they go. It's one thing to do it in practice. It's another thing to get out here. Quarterback can't hear. It's very different.
So after the timeout, SC organized. They need 6 on 3rd down. And you think it might have been 4-down territory, but into the backfield to make the stop is Whit Weeks. And now it'll be 4th and long, and it may still well be 4-down territory, but now it's a difficult 4th down.
Well, the strength of this defense is the linebackers, and they move them around. This is a late movement by Weeks. This guy plays with a kind of a motor that's unprecedented to this defense. Physical, smart, has speed, has instincts. I mean, you're seeing Weeks, you're seeing Greg Penn, you're seeing Harold Perkins, playing a lot of guys, keeping them fresh, and they all play at about the same level as far as their instincts and speed.
USC is running guys on and off the field, some confusion in personnel grouping again, and they have to use another timeout.
I saw Lincoln Riley kind of touch his chest almost and saying, hey, that one's on me. We want to get this right. Everybody stay calm here.
And Zachariah Branch sprinted off to try to save them. They had to use the timeout, Holly.
Well, the noise is becoming an issue down on the field. I've seen Miller Moss from USC several times putting his hands over the ear holes of his helmet to try to block out the exterior noise so he can hear the speakers in his headset. They are going into the side of the end zone that is primarily LSU. The horse bench shape is all purple fans right now. I've had my decibel meter out. The loudest it's gotten is about 106 decibels. 115 is a loud subway, but guys, it is hard to hear down here right now, and you see Miller Moss and the guys getting frustrated and struggling to communicate.
Holly, you've been in Baton Rouge many times on Saturday night. The Bayou Bengal faithful, they know how to raise the decibel level.
That gives you, no doubt, that gives you a really good perspective of where the football is. That LSU band is right there. The crowd had a chance to get their pregame festivities going all day long.
Right now, SC needs 9 yards on 4th down in LSU territory. Moss fires and it's batted away again, and this time it was intercepted. I'm not sure he controlled it. Whit Weeks again had it in his hands, and it was stripped away, and LSU gets the stop.
Well, LSU fans, welcome to the era of Blake Baker as your defensive coordinator. Doesn't matter what the situation is, what point in the game it is, he's going to live and continue to be who he is and trust his players. Brings that blitz. Savion Jones eventually came free to knock it loose. It looked like Weeks had possession just for maybe a step or two.
That's going to be the question here, Kirk, is to see.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 8, for taking his helmet off in the field of the play. 15-yard penalty, 1st down, timeout.
Okay, so number 8. That would be Major Burns of LSU. Apparently, Weeks did not have possession and fumble, and is incomplete.
In a football move, and that ball's out quick. Incomplete pass was a correct call.
That's what they called on the field, and now LSU is backed up after Major Burns was called for the unsportsmanlike conduct for taking his helmet off after that. And SC trying to answer. Big play up front. Braylon Shelby making the stop in the backfield. It'll be 2nd and long for LSU.
Shelby has a chance to be a superstar. 6'5", 265. Had a foot injury out the last couple of weeks. They haven't played him a ton, but look for him this year. 34, very athletic, has great length. Danton Lim thinks rotationally he could be a superstar and just continue to get more and more reps.
Nutzmeyer on 2nd down, fires underneath. They've got it complete, and out there to a tight end there very high on Kamorion Pimpton, making the grab and hitting out right to the 30-yard line. Need to get it to the 31 for the 1st down. LSU lines up quickly. Give to Emery, and he is hit in the backfield, and he didn't get there. Both of these defenses standing up and making stops in the 4th quarter.
And it's a veteran in Gentry who's able to shoot this gap. He's thinking, okay, if they're going fast on short yardage, I'm going to sell out. I'm going to try to hit and get underneath that tight end and make a play, and that's exactly what he did. Put a star next to that one for Eric Gentry, a veteran guy, transferred about 3 years ago from ASU, 6'6", 215, and they're going to get the football back after wasting a couple timeouts on the previous possession.
Forcing a 3-and-out, Peyton Todd to punt it away for LSU. Zachariah Branch is back. And he's coming up on the run, and he has to slide and make the catch, but a good job to not let that punt bounce. USC will take over after the 35-yard punt with under 7 minutes to play. 17-13, the two questions going into this game. How would the new quarterbacks fare replacing the last two Heisman Trophy winners? And how would the defenses play under new rising star defensive coordinators? The answers, very well for the quarterbacks, much improved for the defense, and now SC takes over down 4, only one timeout left. But remember, in college football this year, there is a 2-minute timeout, which would give the Trojans or LSU another stoppage should they need it. Miller Moss back to work, firing, got Kyron Hudson. Hudson into LSU territory inside the 45 and down to the 43-yard line, a pickup of 21.
Look at the anticipation here. Ball's out now. Receiver's head isn't even looking for the football right there, and he does a nice job of putting it right in the hole. That's a lot of work over this summer with this new group of receivers. I love that he felt the blitz, got the ball out, his receiver cut right into that throwing lane for a big completion.
Hey, and Herbie, Miller Moss just went over 300 yards for the night. He's trying to give his team the lead. Pressure off the edge, but they get loose. It's Woody Marks. Marks bouncing off tacklers inside the 30 and down to about the 28-yard line. Another explosive play for the Trojans. 16 on that one.
Noah, nice job. You see 77 picks up the edge man. They're pulling the guard. They're pulling that backside tight end. And then you got a back that's got a little bit of room to pick up some acceleration through those backers. Back-to-back plays. Now they're in plus territory inside the 30. Free play.
He caught Major Burns offside. Moss going to try to make him pay. Throwing to the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Jacoby Lane. How about that drive?
Defense number 8. The penalties decline. Touchdown.
What a job by Miller Moss.
A great job, and we show you this replay. What a great design. Look at that emotion and passion from Miller Moss. You know, they talked about this team being, our first game was the bowl game against Louisville in the Holiday Bowl. That was the start of turning this season in the 2024. It wasn't tonight. And Miller Moss has kind of taken ownership of this team, won the job, and what a throw here with the game on the line. But wait till you see the design by Lincoln Riley.
Now the point after to make it a 3-point game. Nestled it inside that right upright, and the Trojans lead by a field goal.
This is the risk you take. Blake Baker, we've been bragging about how aggressive he is. This is the pressure right here. But by bringing this pressure, look at the two corners and safeties right here. Look at this matchup and what happens as far as the safety. He's got to make a tough decision. Moss knows he's got a free play. The safety here kind of gets turned. He works back to the inside. He elects to go to the outside, which is a tougher throw. But because he put it up and over the receiver and let him run underneath it, it's a heck of a job of using his body by Jacoby Lane there and then pushing off late because the ball's thrown over that outside shoulder. Gets that late separation for the touchdown. What a throw by Moss.
Moss now 22 of 30, 329 yards. That's his first touchdown. Now Brian Kelly has lost in each of his first 2 seasons at LSU in a neutral side opener, losing to Florida State each of the last 2 years. LSU hasn't won an opening game since the year they won the national championship in 2019. And now they'll have an opportunity with Garrett Nussmeier's had a strong night, getting the ball back with just under 6 minutes to play. And I don't know, the way USC struck and some of the big plays we've seen from LSU, we might have a couple more lead changes before this baby's over. Touchback, he'll come out to the 25. Now Garrett Nussmeier, after Jaden Daniels opted out in the ReliaQuest Bowl against Wisconsin, led a game-winning drive, got the ball back about the same time on the clock, 6:10 left. Saw him hit Kyron Lacey, then he found Chris Hilton Jr., who's not been able to play tonight because of an ankle injury. Ended up hitting Brian Thomas for the winner. So Nussmeier has been in this situation before and came through for LSU, and Miller Moss certainly just came through for the Trojans. Now the SC faithful making some noise, and we talked about the problems that the crowd had caused for SC. Now LSU getting a taste.
False start. Offense number 66.
Second time we've seen Will Campbell, you know, he's in a two-point stance. And again, whether it's crowd noise or looking across from him, it's Shelby. Not sure what it is, but he clearly flinches. He's saying, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
2 false starts, and LSU's been penalized 9 times for 85 yards tonight, more than double the number of penalties and yardage as USC. And now they have Emory Jones moving, but he's saying he was reacting to the movement on the edge from the SC defense. Let's see what the officials say.
But was Lucas across? Was he in the neutral zone? He moved for sure. He's saying, why didn't they snap the ball?
Offside. Defense number 6 in the neutral zone, causing the offense to react. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So you want to be a head coach? Yeah. BK Lynn looks cool as can be. Here's the play.
Yeah, 6 at the bottom, movement. And because he's in a neutral zone, when the right tackle, Emory Jones, flinches, it's on the defense as long as he's in that neutral zone.
So really nothing happened. We're back to 1st and 10.
Right.
Nussmeier to Anderson. Anderson had a touchdown earlier, picks up a few.
I think Garrett Nussmeier, knowing the way he's played tonight, knowing how he's waited his whole life for this opportunity to take over this offense from Jake Daniels, I think there's nobody in this building, and it's full, it's packed, that's happier about this situation. Not happy to be down, but happy to have the ball in his hands, trailing with a chance to go down and win it. Nobody wants this more than number 13.
Jaden Daniels looking on, the guy he shared a quarterback room with last year. The toss, and keep it on the ground. That is a big hit from the Trojan defense, stopping short of the first down. Josh Williams was running it, and he was greeted rudely by Jalen Smith.
Yeah, Jalen Smith's very versatile, can bounce around and play a lot of different positions. That time, I just love how he made a decision to get downhill, not intimidated at all by the bigger back down low on him, which is what you have to do. But Danton Lynn, again, this defense, it's hard to imagine. This is the same SC defense we've watched the last couple years in the way they're playing tonight.
I would say it is not the same. They're not playing the same, and it's not just because they brought in a few transfers, which they have, and they've played well. There's a different attitude from both of these defenses. Play clock getting on top of him. Nussmeier gets it off. Needs to pick up the first down here. He's got a wide open Anderson, and he's into USC territory. Aaron Anderson knocked down inside the 30, and Nussmeier comes up with a huge play to Aaron Anderson.
Well, he takes this away on the outside. This defensive end normally pressures, but instead of pressuring, he actually sinks into the flat and takes away Mason Taylor. That's what, look at Nussmeier. He's looking right here. He wants to throw. He's taken away, no problem, keeps his poise, looks backside, and then eventually finds an Aaron Anderson for the big play. Great recognition again by Nussmeier.
Got 41 on 3rd and 4. Now Emory back to the ground, didn't get much.
You know, if you predetermine there because it's 3rd and short, you go to old reliable into the flat, a lot of quarterbacks would just make that throw. I love that this guy, without a ton of experience, Danton Lynn throws him a wrinkle instead of 34, who's a very effective pass rusher. Instead of rushing, goes against the grain, drops in a flat, and Nussmeier is not fooled. You can see him rolling to his left for an easy throw to that flat, came off it, still kept his eyes downfield, and eventually made that great throw to Anderson.
On 2nd and 10, backfield's empty. Nussmeier stands in, fires to the outside, and the catch is made by Xavier Thomas for a first down.
I mean, I sound like a broken record, but are you kidding me on the location of this football? What a catch by Thomas, but look where he threw it. And he's even getting held. Thomas getting held by the jersey. Best defensive back maybe for SC in coverage is Jalen Smith. And because of where that ball is, again, back shoulder, gives him a chance to separate from the defender, even with that jersey being held onto.
The previous play
and make a catch.
Review, the ruling on the field was a catch and a first down.
They're going to have another look at him. Brian Kelly's been upset with some of the calls. Let's have a look at it here.
Did his upper body land? No. Does he have possession while that right foot is down?
Elbow down. That's it.
You think
That's a catch, Billy. It looks like to me elbow down.
We said elbow down quickly.
You got it. Yeah. First of all, the back foot was down inbound.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
When he first started to control. Secondly, even if that wasn't, he came down with the elbow first, and that's inbounds.
So look at that right foot.
Yep. See the pellets popping up there.
We've got to catch, because I don't see the ball coming out from him hitting the ground.
Let's have a look there. That's controlled.
Oh, wow. Look. Oh, we're going with that elbow. We're going with that elbow, not the hand.
The people's elbow, right? Oh, man. We expect this to be confirmed. How about, we've talked a lot about Lincoln Riley and the defensive coordinators. Joe Sloan's called a really good game for Nussmeier tonight, and he's called plays before, called plays a long time for Skip Holtz at Louisiana Tech.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Just as we thought, and Sloan, Nussmeier have worked together in sync here to give LSU a chance to regain the lead.
Yeah, there's Joe Sloan calling the plays. He's getting fired up himself. Been hanging out with BK a little bit. Hey, for young quarterbacks out there, I want you to pay attention to one thing, and everybody's a different situation. You got two quarterbacks right now that have sat around and paid their dues and watched and listened and paid attention and learned and developed in the shadows. They didn't leave because they were frustrated after a year or two. They waited and patiently got better, so when their time came, whether it's a third year or a fourth year, they're in the same system and a chance to become the guy. We're seeing two examples of that tonight. It's different at this position than just most positions. Sitting and waiting is not a terrible thing.
John Emery bounced to the outside, and an open field tackle that might have saved a touchdown from Jalen Smith. That's a great point, too, and you see it paying off. Both these guys over 300 yards, haven't turned the ball over tonight. Both have played extraordinarily well.
I mean, they look like seasoned veterans, and they stayed within a program. They learn their teammates. The teammates look at them. It's like, okay, our guys that were here last year are gone. You're our guy now. And you know what? We've seen you in the weight room at 6 a.m. these last 3 years. We know what you put into this. We know the sweat that you put into this program. You're our guy. We believe in you. And it's a great reminder for a lot of guys watching around the country.
The 2-minute timeout comes with USC up 20-17. And so LSU uses that timeout with the ball. That might factor in for USC. Threatening with a 2nd down and 8 from the 14 of the Trojans. Garrett Nussmeier pulls it out of the back and throws and short hops it to Aaron Anderson, and now it's going to be 3rd down, and it also stops the clock. SC playing right now with only 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, Nussmeier gets out there, and again, he has put every throw on the money. You know, you can see the fans, they're feeling the anxiety. But yeah, most of these throws have been on the money. That time, getting out on the run, out on the edge of that defense. Athletic enough, by the way, that if they give him the corner, he can take off and go. That time, he just misses a throw. He had some room to run after the catch.
Goes without saying, a sizable 3rd down. Trojans have 1 red zone stop against LSU, the opening drive of the game. Can they get another? Flag flying, Nussmeier throwing, and ball is broken up, intended for Kyron Lacey. Let's see what the flag on the far side of the field is about. Kevin Marr, white hat. The penalty is going to be against LSU. And the question is Lincoln Riley ready to force this 4th down and likely field goal attempt here?
Illegal shift. Offense number 18 and number 2. That penalty's declined. Brings up 4th down.
It looked like Kyron Lacey, to me, was a little bit confused when he started to go into motion. He starts to move. Garrett Nussmeier is kind of giving him the signal, but at the same time, you see movement in the backfield from Josh Williams. At that point, that's the illegal shift. You almost got a timeout there. Nussmeier almost elected on that 3rd down to call a timeout. Anyway, SC declines it to set up this 4th down and a field goal attempt.
So Damian Ramos will try to draw the Tigers even. at the game winner against Arkansas, 20 yards out. This one from 31 yards away and for the tie. On the way and right down the strip here in Las Vegas, and we are tied at 20, 1:47 to go, and now it's Miller Moss's turn. The last time he had it, they scored in 1 minute and 13 seconds. Have a look at that field goal.
Yeah, the laces did not actually get rotated out. Kicker does a really good job of just continuing through, obviously, but not losing his focus with so much on the line. And he tied this game up. Miller Moss thinking, hey, wait, what? Remember, SC burnt those 2 timeouts early. The 2-minute timeout is behind us, so they have one way of obviously stopping the clock unless they're able to get out of bounds or pick up first downs.
We take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Allstate. No rankings from the College Football Playoff Selection Committee until much later in the season. This from the Associated Press. Georgia rolled over Clemson. Everybody got W's. Now Florida State lost the opener in Dublin, and they play tomorrow night on ESPN.
I didn't watch a lot of this one. I want to go back and see what Dan Lanning's team did. I don't know if they're reading the press clippings about how great they're going to be, but 24-14, that's a little bit of a surprise against Idaho. Notre Dame, we were there last night at Kyle Field. Unbelievable battle against the Aggies, fought their way on the road and found a way to win. Really grew up, I thought, last night as an offense with Riley Leonard and that young offensive line. You look at their schedule, Notre Dame's going to be favored in every game that they play. They end the year with these Trojans out at the Coliseum.
When you go back and watch the Oregon game and look at the box, you won't understand how in the world the game was close.
No, I'm trying to give them a little.
Give them a little
I picked them to win it all. So
oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, so now 1 minute 47 to play. We're all tied at 20, LSU and USC, and Miller Moss, succeeding Caleb Williams, started the bowl game, was the MVP of the Holiday Bowl, set a USC bowl record with 6 touchdown passes, and now a chance to lead a game-winning drive, he hopes.
I think you'll see Lincoln Riley be very patient. You know, urgency, but not crazy urgency. And Moss has been able to get the ball downfield. He's 4 of 4 on passes thrown 20 yards or longer for 112 yards. So he and his receivers have been on point downfield.
Saw the fans doing what many people in Vegas do here, looking
Ball
for
replaced it. Position 2. It'll still be first down. We'll reset the game clock.
looking for divine intervention and hoping that their fortunes turn in their favor here on this opening night. What has been a highly entertaining game. It's lived up to all the billing, all of the marquee value, and now we've got a finish.
Remember, he led SC down to have a shot at a field goal at the end of the first half, similar time.
With the easy completion out to Marks. Marks up across the 25 to the 30. He'll be stopped there. Clock continues to run. As Kirk mentioned, only one timeout for the Trojans.
I think they have a great deal of confidence in Miller Moss based on what we talked to Lincoln Riley about just situational awareness, understanding down and distance, having a little bit of urgency, but not doing anything crazy here.
LSU would like to get pressure to keep everything in front of them. They're able to do so, but that'll be a first down. Jacoby Lane, and the touchdown catch a few moments ago, moves the chains.
And remember, all they need is a field goal. So that's why you're not seeing these guys worry about that. Now, remember, at the end of that first half, when he moved them 63 yards, basically a chip shot from 29 yards out, he missed. So I'm sure that's in the back of Lincoln Riley's head as well.
You saw that green line down about the 36 where SC needs to get it. Zachariah Branch is open. Now Branch goes down a little bit short of the first down marker, so the clock continues to run down to 55.
Savion Jones has had a great night, not necessarily coming up with a ton of sacks, but it seems like every time they throw, he is hitting the quarterback or pushing an offensive lineman back into the face of the quarterback. Lined up on the left side of the offense.
They'll run the ball and get the first down. They tried to do that in the first half to stop the clock, and they didn't get the first down and kept rolling. This time, clock will stop long enough to reset the chains as Marks gets the first down. Ball up to the 48-yard line.
Again, using those 2 timeouts earlier, trying to preserve that last timeout.
Boy, could they use those right now. I'm sure they're thinking. See if Moss can make up for it. Throws back to Kyron Hudson. Pearson, who smartly steps out of bounds with 22 seconds to go. Getting really close to field goal range.
I mean, so far, this is a clinic reel on how to handle a 2-minute offense with a game at 20-20. Absolutely what we kind of said before they started. You're not going to see Lincoln Riley jump up and down on the sideline, panicking. They have been Joe Cool, the quarterback, the entire offense, incredibly well prepared for this moment in this game. Rotate some fresh D linemen in.
See if they can get heat on Moss. Only rushing 3. Ball is batted down. It's incomplete. 18 seconds remain.
See LSU's reaction on the sideline. They might have been right. I think they thought there was movement off on that right side. Right tackle Mason Murphy. Watch his left step.
Yep.
Looks like he steps to the inside right there. Tight end also. No call, but an incompletion. But there was big reaction from Blake Baker, the D coordinator and company.
I thought 77, Alani Noah moved too. Got away with it. Second down and 10. 18 seconds
Every
to go.
yard counts, right? Oh, now they get movement.
And now they're pointing at Noah again, but that was after the defensive shift on the defensive line. And we saw this called earlier.
We sure did. That was a controversial call from
Yes,
Brian
it was.
Kelly.
They'll talk it over, make sure they get this one right.
Who wants to go back to the LSU sideline if they call this delay a game on the defense?
False start.
Okay, we're not going back to the sideline
Offense
after the
number 77. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, Noah got away with it, I thought, in the previous play, but not this time.
Well, if you're just joining us and wondering what we're talking about, there's a very similar play where all 3 D linemen moved like that together, and we saw movement by USC, and they called delay a game on the defense instead of movement by the guard. That time it goes the other way, and it pushes USC back. Maybe a makeup call from the previous play.
Second down and 15. Got to get it into field goal range. Moss throwing to Hudson. Hudson takes a big hit, but he got to Hutt. What a catch again. That's 2 spectacular catches, and there's a flag down. This may put them right on the doorstep for field goal range if it's targeted. Hudson had a spectacular catch, one hand in the first half. He's had a couple of balls knocked away, one of which could have been a score, but boy, he won't have one bigger than that one.
The result of the play is a first down. Personal foul, targeting, defense number 2. The previous play is under further review. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Very important here. We're going to talk about Miller Moss, but the defense, Sage Ryan does not reroute. The reason that's important is because without rerouting and jamming him here, look how he gets by. Now you've got a window in this area right here between the safety and the corner. By not getting hands on him to slow him down, it gives him a chance to get into that window, and then the safety comes over late. And I think we figured out Kyron Hudson.
Yep.
He just likes to make the crazy catch.
Make it hard.
He likes to make that crazy catch.
We saw.
Man, he's made 2 big catches.
Now they called targeting. Of course, they're reviewing it, the replay officials, to make sure that it stands. If it does, it will move the ball 15 yards and closer, or maybe perhaps half the distance. They'll see exactly where the spot is. At any rate, it would make it a very short field goal.
I've got a crown of the helmet hit. He's going upward into him.
He's defenseless and a crown.
Well, he's just starting the completion of the catch, so I'd keep him defenseless. But when you go
doesn't matter with the crown of the helmet,
doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, again, great catch, but what a job of enduring that hit. Looked like he had just that left hand and arm on the ball. Started to get the right arm on it.
Well, Moss on this drive, Kirk, is 5 of 6, 49 yards. Put his team already in field goal range and likely to get some yardage tacked on here, assuming that the penalty stands. And now perhaps for the 3rd consecutive opening weekend of the Brian Kelly era, LSU could start 0-1.
Reese, if I could add one thing there.
Always, Billy.
Just a small thing, but it's not about standing on this one. We have to get it confirmed for it to be there. A stands would be a drop. It'd be off.
Right. Okay. They're still talking it over. It's a really important thing. It's a big difference in the length of the field goal, obviously, so they want to make sure they get this one right. And man, Hudson 5 catches, 83 yards, and 2 of the more spectacular ones you'll see.
And you know, week 1, all these new players we're trying to get used to. USC not only loses the quarterback, Caleb Williams, but Taj Washington, Brennan Rice, Mario Williams. So they lost 4 of their top 6. So they're trying to find these new faces. Who are the guys they can count on? And Hudson, Deuce Robinson, Jacoby Lane, McCree, the tight end. They've had some new faces step up.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a catch is stands. The ruling on the field of targeting is confirmed. Number 2 is disqualified for the remainder of the game. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Jordan Gilbert kicked out of the game, and now they'll march at half the distance to the goal, and USC still with that timeout. They'll be able to center the ball, put it in any position the kicker wants, but he did miss a short one earlier.
In the end of the first half, you know, I'm pulling for him. We're all, you know, you always want to see these guys do well, but he did miss a 29-yarder at the end of the first half. They're just going to try to, I would assume, get it in the center of the field or get it where he likes it and call that last time out.
I would think so. New field goal kicker for USC is Michael Lance. He's a transfer from Georgia Southern. Woody Marks might make it a moot point, and he does. Talk about all the field goals, and Woody Marks rumbles into the end zone, and USC is on top with 8 seconds to play. The former Mississippi State Bulldog might have just put the finishing touches on LSU as Woody Marks goes in for the score.
What a job by the entire offense and the execution of that 2-minute drill. 8 plays, 75 yards. We thought they were setting up for a potential game-winning field goal, but instead it's a touchdown. Remember, we just saw Gilbert thrown out of the game for targeting. Well, his replacement right here is a safety, Jordan Allen, who's been in and out of the game. And this time he kind of gets caught up in the tight end. You'll see great job on that left side. Good job on the left side of being able to do what they needed to do to open up the hole. But really, it was the safety that, to me, gets lost. He's looking at the tight end. He follows the tight end, and instead of being able to fill that hole, it still would have been a nice gain, but it wouldn't have been a touchdown. So eyes are in the backfield. Good job on the left side. Predominantly Pregnon, that left guard, just drilling down in that big, powerful LSU defensive line. And how about Marks, the transfer from an SEC school, Mississippi State, potentially gets the game-winning touchdown for the Trojans.
Bookended this game with touchdowns, scored the first one in Jaquavius. Woody Marks, called Woody because of his love for Toy Story. Hey, howdy, hey, he has announced his arrival for Lincoln Riley's team with a couple of touchdowns tonight. And if they can hold on for 8 seconds, the game-winning touchdown tonight. Well, let's see how LSU plays this, if they try the lateral plays on the kickoff or if they wait to do it from scrimmage. They'll do it from scrimmage. No need to bring disaster into the equation on the kickoff. If you can boot that thing out of the back, go ahead. And now 75 yards away, and a miracle needed for Garrett Nussmeier and Lincoln Riley.
Says focus, guys. What a recap of this game. Just both quarterbacks over 300 yards passing, completed over 75% of their passes. Just an amazing threat. Who thought that was going to be the case when we came into this one? We thought we'd see more from the running game. Just total control and command by both quarterbacks. And really, I think the defenses from where they were a year ago to where they are tonight, and looking forward to the rest of the 24 season, marked improvement and a lot to be excited about. SC just ended up making more big plays.
The back line of the Trojan defense is 55 to 60 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Nussmeier throws an interception, and that's how it's going to end. Mason Cobb picks it off, and the Trojans will have a victory. And what a way to christen USC in the Big Ten, and with a victory over LSU here in Las Vegas.
you take on these games because of, say, bowl atmosphere. You know, that's what it feels like, and you know, you play your heart out for LSU, and you got to pick up and get ready to go the rest of the year. I guess they're going to review this or look at that to make sure he had possession of it. But I applaud the coaches and the athletic directors to take on these games. This is a big stage and a big moment for LSU and USC. USC into the Big Ten for the first year. Imagine their schedule. They're going to be in Ann Arbor in a couple weeks. They got a brutal schedule. LSU, of course, living in the SEC. They know what they have ahead of them. But both these teams showed tonight that they're going to improve. They're going to get better. They have quarterbacks. They have a defense. They're both going to, I think, have exciting years.
And there are very few. You don't want to make too much out of one game, but there are very few who